I will lower the cost of healthcare insurance. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
Window Nation presents the 1210 WPHT Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation. Listen the first Wednesday of every month as Kale and Company shines a spotlight on a local veteran, highlighting their remarkable commitment to the community and their exceptional service in the military. Presented by Window Nation. At Window Nation, there's nothing more important than giving back to the communities we serve. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, good Friday, everyone. It is Dom time, and there are any number of things. It's hard to know even what to lead off with today. I'll tell you one local story I'm interested in a little bit later on. Dan and I have had a lot of conversations about, would you put a marijuana facility in your town? Well, Morristown is voting on it now.
Sure, why not?
That's what you said then. I don't know. I think it's going to be a close vote over in Morristown.
These business fronts are cleaner than most business fronts out there at this point.
There's still a downside to this. That's why it's a headline story. If it weren't, it wouldn't be a headline story.
Not creating a red light district or anything.
Okay, well, it's mainly only, many more places have not gone for it in New Jersey than I thought. It's mainly AC and Camden. And a scattered thing, so we'll zone in on that.
Runnymede, Belmar.
They've done it?
Yeah.
Well, Belmar, I know.
Uh-huh.
That's no surprise, given the demographics and everything
Runnymede's
else.
doing their second one soon.
Runnymede has one?
Yeah.
Well, that's a little bit surprising. Okay. All right, that's coming up. But I'm going to lead with Liz Cheney.
I don't know, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. We'll get a list. I want to lead with Liz Cheney because what happened yesterday with Liz Cheney, I'm looking at Swalwell and Matthew Dowd and people like that. They are amazing in their praise of Liz Cheney, of course. Even though Liz Cheney 5 minutes before this was one of the most virulent going after Kamala Harris. So now, though, Liz Cheney yesterday, full-throated endorsement where the Republican Party was started. And you know about Dick Cheney, 5 deferments, I guess it was, with Vietnam. Yeah, with Vietnam. I've had the Cheneys on over the years, even sometimes in person, all that type of stuff. But they've always been the establishment. And they underline, Liz Cheney, what this is about. It's the establishment versus Trump, but it's more than that. What they underline, their solution is so that they feel good about the, quote, republic, these unending wars. Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney is even as bad or worse. And the biggest legacy that Donald Trump is going to have, I know Supreme Court, I know the style, I know any number of things. It's subtle at this point because people now accept it. But I remember back in 2016, when he started to talk about some of the follies of the Iraq War, the biggest legacy is that the Republican Party, at least under Trump, and who knows into the future, if it's J.D. Vance, somebody like that, not going to get involved in these unending wars. And that's exactly what the Cheneys of the world want to do. And I'm not even saying it's because of the profiteering with the industrial complex and all that. It's their mentality. That's what they feel good about. That's America in the world. And who dies, though? Not anybody connected to the Cheneys or the so-called elites or anything else. We know who dies in these fiascos. That's what it's about. And that's Trump's biggest legacy. I've been saying that forever. Never forget that. All right, that's one thing. Our buddy Meg Brock, we're kind of loaded up today, but I think we'll get her on Monday, has an exclusive. Remember Meg Brock, Person of the Year a couple of years back in Bucks County? I believe she's moved, but she's working with the Daily Caller. And this is an exclusive through a Freedom of Information Act. Meg Brock reports in the Daily Caller that Josh Shapiro used tax dollar funds, public funds, to train dozens of overwhelmingly liberal social media influencers on how they can get their audience to vote in the 2024 election through a records request. Shapiro directed the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to pay thousands of dollars to host a day-long democracy summer camp. I think it was at the Franklin Institute on July 25th to instruct people with large social media followings how to target their audiences to vote and how to identify misinformation on the internet. She got a list of 43 influencers the governor's office invited to attend the publicly funded training, and upon review, none of the influencers favored Republicans, and roughly 70% had an explicitly liberal social media presence. The rest who attended had apolitical accounts, but were from demographics that overwhelmingly favor the Democrat Party, like college students and African Americans. All right, so we're going to see where this goes now. Is the media going to report this? This is just out last night, I think. And our own Megan Brock, through Freedom of Information Act, being the one to talk about this. And as soon as you hear the word misinformation, and this guy, Josh Shapiro, again, now his argument's going to be, well, I just want to get people to vote. No, you don't. This is what we're up against here in Pennsylvania. And this weekend is going to be an incredible rally in Butler. I saw today on several channels stories of rally goers the first time when Trump was shot, who are going back and talked about the trauma they experienced through that and how they're hoping this puts it to rest. Elon Musk is going to be there. And we had a lot of commentary. Let me see if I can find this one. Yeah, this was on MSNBC with Stephanie Ruhle. And Stephanie Ruhle claims that that Elon Musk is supporting Trump to control AI regulation. She was on with Walter Isaacson, who writes all the big biographies. And he said, no, Elon Musk believes in what Trump is doing. So Elon Musk is going to be at the rally, is going to speak, which is pretty rare. This is cut 21. Here's Stephanie Ruhle.
I definitely don't think he wants a job in the Trump administration. But I think someone who has extraordinary power like Elon Musk does, wouldn't it be incredible to have a bat phone into the White House to get whatever you want of regulations? Right? The most important thing that's going to happen in the next 5 years is AI regulation. And Elon Musk has a huge interest in that. And wouldn't it be amazing to have a lot of control over a president during that time?
And no regulation.
All right, so there you go. That's what their takeaway will be from this rally. We'll talk with Scott Presler about it a little bit later on because Scott and Linda Kearns are the people that got the State Department of Pennsylvania to say, no, we're not going to do the web maintenance during the Trump rally. We'll wait till after that's over. Because I think a lot of people are going to be there, and you'd be surprised how many are not registered to vote that will be signed up. There could be 25,000, 50,000, who knows, or more people showing up in Butler. It is iconic, going back to the scene of the attempted assassination. Now, something else happened yesterday. The international firefighters did not endorse Kamala Harris. Now, this goes back, just like the Teamsters, about 40 years. And the tell of what's happening here is that they solicited from their members what the members thought. And what they got back led their board to say non-endorsement. Now, you think firefighters, you think, well, they endorse just like the cops do, right? No. Their history is much more like the typical unions. They couldn't get enough of Joe Biden. So this non-endorsement of the firefighters, and I know people say, well, why don't they just endorse Trump then? They can't political. I mean, that's political suicide for the Teamsters, for this group, because of how they're aligned. But they're telling America something. It's not just a rejection of Harris. It's that Trump has broken through. Who knows on exactly what issues, but on the whole deal, he has broken through here with unions, other than the radical service employees union, that type. I mean, nobody has a shot with them. They're solidly in the progressive camp. But other than that, we're seeing this breakthrough. We're seeing it with all kinds of people, Latinos particularly. Now all we have to do is get across the finish line with enough people in the suburbs, and this is going to be a win. By the way, CNN, in their poll of polls, meaning taking all these polls, yesterday, they gave President Trump a 70% chance of winning the presidency. And that's CNN. Now, these things change day to day or week to week. But at this point in time, it's pretty clear where they think this is going. And I think one of the biggest things that's going to happen now, North Carolina, you got to think is going to be Trump territory with only one problem. The areas that are hard hit are Trump country as far as people actually being able to vote somewhere and or, mail-in ballots or stuff of that nature. It's all up in the air. But still, in the end, I will be shocked if we're here on election night and Trump doesn't carry North Carolina by more than a point. I'll also be really surprised if he doesn't carry Georgia. Now, Trump is stumping in Georgia today with Governor Kemp. And I know the antagonism toward Kemp. Here's why this is important, though. Really important. In person, he's there with Kemp. Kemp has an unbelievable machine to get out the vote, to get out Republican voters in Georgia. Kemp there with them doing this. You can't get enough of it. And Georgia has put in really good election reform. Remember that? Major League Baseball wouldn't play there because of some of the reforms, right? So I think Georgia looks awfully good. Wisconsin, Michigan, I'm never really counting on them. And you know what that leads to. It all comes back to right here where we are in Pennsylvania. And that's where we're going to be 30 days or so from now. And it'll probably take 2 or 3 days, given the nonsense that goes on. But it's all coming down to Pennsylvania in the end. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all that you need to do is just push pound 1210. Now, side question today. After the show yesterday, we meet, Henry, Dan, and I, and we're talking about, I brought it up, these insufferable Mets fans. And, and we decided, even if they lose, we're going to do the side question around them. And I have a question about tomorrow's game, but we want to know today someone or something that has earned its reputation. Now, maybe it's a really good reputation, but mainly we're tending toward the negative, more entertaining maybe. Mets fans are insufferable. I mean, I've been there with Yankees fans. Yeah, they're in New York and all that. And I'm more basketball than the other sports. So, I mean, I was just torn with the Sixers, and particularly hearing the Knicks fans there at Wells Fargo. It was brutal. It sounded like they had 10,000 people there. I would put it at half. Last year in the Sixers' really dramatic playoff were Knicks fans. What's the over and under going to be tomorrow? Now, we hear a lot of people saying they wouldn't dare sell their tickets. Henry tells me about some guy who claims if you sell it to him, he'll make sure it's a Phillies fan or at least not a Mets fan there. I've heard all kinds of numbers. Even if there's only 5,000 of them, though, you're going to have to keep up continuous noise throughout. They're obnoxious enough. And
to say the least.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Mets fans deserve to be in a stadium with Eagles fans. I'm sure you get my point, because the Phillies fans are more family-oriented. You know, there still could be brawls and all that. But you put the Mets fans in an Eagles game, let's say they were cheering for a New York team, that would not be good for them. No. That's the level that they're at. So hit us with somebody or something that deserves the reputation. Now, Dan had a great one. I'm going to say New Yorkers. They deserve it up and down the line. But these are maybe the top 5% of obnoxious New Yorkers. It's just obnoxious, aggressive, just blowhards at the extreme. I'm going to say chain pizza deserves its reputation as horrible. And the Philadelphia Parking Authority, we haven't attacked them recently. They certainly deserve it as predatory. Henry, what's yours?
Yeah, so I'll stick with fandom here for a second.
Okay.
I'll go with Dallas Cowboys fans. Every
yes.
year
Right.
is their year. It's our year, baby.
Yep.
And yet every year it's not their year. And Jerry Jones,
deserves it. Yeah.
He deserves everything. And then going back to New York, I will go with someone that deserves the reputation they have are the mascots that ask for pictures in Times Square.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Well, if you take a picture with them,
Yeah.
they will like hassle you for money.
Oh, yeah.
They just want money. That's all it is. And they will practically almost like assault you if you don't give them money for taking a picture with them.
How about
whether
the
it's
women,
Elmo or Captain America?
How about the women that are only painted, not exactly
Oh,
clothed?
yeah, them,
Yes.
the naked cowboy, all those
Naked
guys.
Cowboy's fine, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of cool. I don't see any problem with him. Okay. All right, so that's the side question today. 855-839-1210. You can get on board. Jump in. And we got Bruce Springsteen, his endorsement, and I'll tell you something in there that's particularly obnoxious. How is this guy, I mean, how much, if you are a Springsteen fan, but you're a conservative, how great is he that you're willing to put, isn't there a limit when this guy's this political to saying, well, I just love what he does? For me, more than Dan, I'm glad Dan's in with Dawn right now doing something. The problem is that this guy's fraudulent in that he's a fake farmer, he's a billionaire, and he's still beating the same kind of drum of that nonsense. In other words, he's the elite, and he's telling us he's not. He bonds with all this stuff. So the magic of Springsteen's world is fraudulent. What else is it that's so appealing, then, that you're willing to put up with this stuff? Henry, are you a Springsteen fan?
Not really.
No. Okay.
My parents are huge Springsteen fans. But
And what is the allure?
Just that he puts on a fantastic show.
Well,
I mean, you can't deny that. And they like to go to like a concert at least once a year.
Okay.
Just see him rip, and they always come home like flabbergasted that he can still do that.
Yeah, and I place a lot on effort. I'm a big effort guy. But, you know, is that enough given the stuff that he's singing about is fraudulent now?
I think they can separate the art from the artist. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just one of those things. Like, if you can't do that for him, then so be it.
Well, I can separate the art from the artist, but I don't see the art here other than the physicality of what he does. You know what I mean? I think he's undercut the whole thing that was about him. And I can't get past that.
It's like they say in The Dark Knight: you either die a villain or die a hero, and live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Stern. Well, you know, it takes me back to the day and all, but look at what you have to put up with here. All right, 855-839-1210, you get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all that you have to do is just push pound 1210 and you get on board. The Liz Cheney endorsement, the gushing today, is unbelievable. In my view, they really are traitors. I mean, they can't possibly stand with Kamala Harris. And the gripe they have with Trump, not that he's going to take away democracy. Isn't that what Dick Cheney was charged with? All of his Machiavellian ways? Wasn't he charged with that? That he was actually running the Bush administration? No. They want unending wars. They want to use that. They think that's America's role in the world. And the problem with that is that young Americans die. That's a big problem. 855-839-1210.
Experience class.
I've got you
Escape the ordinary
under my skin.
and let the music play
But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop.
with Sid Mark and Frank Sinatra.
'Cause I've got you under my skin.
The legend continues. Sunday with Sinatra with Sid Mark. Sundays 11 till 1. Presented by the Crash Proof Retirement Show. Only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
They're pounding on the door. They're calling on the phone. They're threatening to close your business. If debt has your business on the brink, call Ray Reynolds, the godfather of credit. For over 40 years, Ray Reynolds has helped thousands of customers get millions in cash credit. It's no wonder why they call Ray the godfather of credit. He may even be able to raise your score above 750 before the end of the year. You could even get a new personal or business credit line up to $50,000 within days. If your credit needs a rebuild, call Ray Reynolds and receive a $1,000 cash credit card at closing. Raise your credit score to 750 or more. Call Ray Reynolds at 800-576-2295. 800-576-2295. Learn about Ray's secrets to success and how he can fix and improve your credit score to 750 or more. Call the godfather of credit rebuild, Ray Reynolds, at 800-576-2295. 800-576-2295.
Medicare open enrollment begins October 15th. Are you ready to explore your options? In Pennsylvania, you can get free, personalized assistance from PA Medi. PA Medi at your local area agency on aging is your trusted, unbiased source for Medicare information. They'll help you compare benefits and plans in your area and could even help save you money. Call PA Medi at 1-800-783-7067 today.
Supported by a grant from the Administration for Community Living, paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535 or biglou.com.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano. Weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. You get on board. All right, so we have a Republican congressman in a blackface incident. I'll play you. He went into the Lion's Den. He went on to CNN. Mike Lawler, who's a thoughtful guy, I like him, from New York. Here's why it's important, all right? It's important because it's going to be razor thin for Republicans to maintain control of the House. And we want all three so we can roll in a second Trump turn. So Trump looking better, Democrats on the ropes. When it comes to the Senate, I don't think they can pull it out. I think Republicans will have a majority, maybe a 1, maybe a 2. And then there's the House. Could they lose the House? Potentially. So the New York Times outs this Lawler, this representative from Not sure if it's Long Island or not, but outside New York City. Because when he was 20, he's such a fan, apparently, of Michael Jackson. He dressed up as Jackson, and including bronzer. But he's got a giant thing of Jackson in his office. A giant, he went to Michael Jackson's trial and got thrown out because he was so pro Michael Jackson. And he's making the point that's a lot different than someone using blackface like, oh, I don't know, Jimmy Kimmel or Joy Behar to mock people. But now, you know, the blood is in the water. This guy's got to step down, and it would just be a one-off here. Except this could be the seat that determines who controls the House of Representatives. So you can imagine what they're going to do with this. He goes on with Caitlin Collins last night, and they're talking about this. Why don't I see this cut, Henry? Cut 11. Okay. Here's Mike Lawler and Caitlin Collins.
Congressman Lawler joins me now. And Congressman, thank you for being here tonight. Before we get to anything else, I do first want to just give you a chance to address for our viewers, for your constituents, the choices that you made back when this photo was taken around October 2006.
Well, Caitlin, thanks for having me. Yesterday I attended the funeral for the father of a friend. And when we went to the cemetery to bury him, we were approaching, and it turns out his gravestone is going to be right behind my dad's. And on my dad's gravestone, it says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Obviously, I can't change what happened 18 years ago. But I certainly, with wisdom and age, understand that is not something I would do today. And certainly understand why people would be upset or offended by it. And for that, I'm sorry. But, for me, there was no ill intent. There was no effort to malign or make fun of or disparage Black Americans. It was really an effort to pay homage to somebody who was a musical idol for me. I've always loved Michael Jackson's music and his dance moves and his ability to entertain. Anyone who knows me knows that. And people who come visit my D.C. office can see today a Andy Warhol painting of Michael Jackson hanging in my office. So this was really not, what I think could truly be construed as blackface. But I certainly understand why people would be offended by it. And for that, I'm sorry.
All right, I think excellent job there. But as I said, the blood is in the water because they know every seat is precious here. And again, I just referenced two. There's Governor Northam, of course. There's any number on the other side. And this clearly was not some kind of slur or mockery. But, and it's 2006. And these things are going to keep on turning up. So we'll see what happens with Lawler. What ought to happen is he's apologized and we move on. 855-839-1210. This app that we've been talking about with the border and illegal immigrants coming in and processing them, it was over 45,000 just in August being reported today. It's stunning, just stunning, these numbers. And that's just one portal. It's almost hard to believe, but that's the tactic. That's exactly the tactic. Let's go to Ralph in Yardley on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Ralph. Good afternoon.
Hey, Dom. Always good talking with you. Listen, bottom line is this. I grew up in New York State, in the Bronx. I've lived here a bunch of years. Mike Lawler is a never Trump Republican. He's only tempered his hate Trump talk because the tea leaves call for a Trump victory. He's a big clown who only got elected, defeated that Democrat Party held that seat for decades. He only got elected because of the anti-Cuomo, anti-Hochul pro-Lee Zeldin.
Oh, okay. That
contour.
aside, well, that means nothing to me, though, Ralph. We got to keep that seat. Don't you agree?
We need to elect as many Republicans as we can, but you cannot trust Mike Lawler if it does go down to 1 or 2 votes in the House. He cannot be trusted.
All right, the bottom line, though, is he's the best chance to win. Thank you, Ralph, with all due respect, okay? I don't care if he's never Trump or always Trumper at this point. We need that seat. You got to win that seat, and then we move on from there. I take your point after that. For now, it's winning the House. It's always about winning. Win first. That's what you have to do. All right, let's go to Gary in Newtown. Gary. Hey, Gary, good Friday to you.
Thank you. Good Friday to you guys and the rest of the crew. So I'm going to put in some New York into this call, and it happens to do with a show that you probably watched, but the younger guys haven't. But I'm pretty sure they saw the clip of Jim Ignatowski in the DMV taking the test with all of his buddies, and he says to everybody, "What's a red light mean?" And they all go, "Slow down." And he says, "What's a red light mean? Slow down." And then it continues to go slower and slower. So my answer today is the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles.
That is a great one. They certainly deserve their reputation. Yes. That's what we're looking for. You can have a positive one or a negative one. The Mets fans certainly do this. All right, so Henry, what would you set the over-under at tomorrow? I set it at under 10,000. I'm going to take under 8,000 if we could calculate this. I don't think we're going to get as many of them as usual here.
No, I think, did you enter the ticket raffle to try and get tickets for this?
No.
Yeah, I think based on that alone and how many people didn't get it, there are gonna be no Mets fans at this game, so I'll go even lower than you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think we learned our lesson after the Knicks series too. Even though there is a different energy for the Sixers as there is the Phillies, there's more fandom for the Phillies, I'd say, right now than the Sixers.
Yep.
So I think it'll be even less than that. I think you'll see specks of blue out there, but it's gonna be a sea of red out there.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, these people are willing to pay $400 or $500 for a seat.
And do the travel and go. I don't know.
Oh, they travel. Yeah.
I know they travel, but
Yeah.
are they going to want to? I'll say under 4,000.
Under 4,000.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see tomorrow if you're watching a game. A little side thing there. See if you can come up with a ballpark figure. I think they've been here during the regular season, and sometimes they dominate. That's playoff baseball, though, is completely different. I mean, it is stunning. In 22, there was registers of things you hear with an earthquake. We know that.
Yeah.
How far away it was being heard from the stadium.
And like you referred to earlier in the show, if you got tickets and you want to sell them,
right?
Don't just sell them on a website. Tweet them out at 2008 Phils with a Z. That's John Foley. He's doing his part to make sure Phillies fans get Phillies tickets and keep the Mets out.
Great. Okay, let's see how effective this is. It was particularly obnoxious, though, and Sixers, it showed their weakness there. The number of Knicks fans and how obnoxious they were, my God, particularly in the last game here, it was brutal.
Yeah, no, that drove me nuts.
It's going to be harder in a sea of people like this than in a basketball game, but and they never could do it in an Eagles game.
No.
You just couldn't. All right, 855.
Not like Giants fans would really be that loud anyway.
Right, exactly. But with the Eagles thing, you got no shot. You know you're not coming out of here alive. You're not going to try it. 855-839-1210. Get on board. Give us something that deserves its reputation. Well, the NFL is flying by, but you still have time to start the season with a big return on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. You get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place that first $5 bet. You can have a same-game parlay any week that you want for the Eagles, for example. Pick somebody, anytime touchdown. It would have been Jalen Hurts, without the tush-push, over rushing yards, under. There are a million that you can put into it. Usually 3 is a good number, but I don't know the limit on FanDuel and how much just by a small bet you can make. So visit FanDuel.com/Dom. Make every moment more. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner, too, of the NFL. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Bob Casey supported radical sanctuary city policies, and Casey said,
I want to be held accountable if something doesn't work out well.
Casey's sanctuary city policies haven't worked out well. They release dangerous illegal immigrants onto our streets. In fact, Casey's sanctuary city policies released one illegal immigrant felon in Philadelphia who then raped a 5-year-old Pennsylvania girl. Casey made us all less safe. Casey not only supports these crazy policies that put convicted felons back on our streets, he'd make things even worse. Casey voted to give illegals with violent criminal records amnesty. Casey supported amnesty even for illegals convicted of domestic violence and child abuse. Rewarding illegals convicted of domestic violence and child abuse? It's insane.
I want to be held accountable.
It's time to hold Casey accountable. It's time for a change. It's time to fire Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
The exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to be tried, true, and proven by over 5,000 crash-proof consumers.
I am Nancy Harding. This is my husband, Robert. With the crash-proof system, we are inflation-proof.
To offset inflation, we could take more cash out. The rest of our system will continue to grow.
And at a faster rate than we take it out. It makes his sleep, hence my sleep, so much better.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania. The crash-proof system is fighting inflation for us. When prices do go up, we still have income coming in. And even though we're using money, we're still making more money. And at the end, we have more money than we started with.
We have those resources to make our life in retirement much more comfortable.
And we can sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash-Proof Retirement Educational Event at Spring Mill Country Club on Wednesday, October 16th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Longing for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding thin and dull hair and say hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume from New Nordic. Weather sponsored by Robert Half.
We'll expect a beautiful weekend of weather and good weather for baseball. Today, 77 degrees with some clouds and maybe a shower overnight. Tomorrow, turning sunny and pleasant with a high of 79. 76 for Sunday, mostly sunny and beautiful.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. So here's a tell. New York Post, DJ just sent me this. If you wanted the lowest price you could find for tickets to the 2 Citi Field games, out of 5, there are 3 here if we need 5 games to beat the Mets, is $175 before fees on Vivid Seats. Tickets start, though, at $222 before fees at Citizens Bank Park $47 difference. It gives you an idea of the intensity of people wanting to go to the Phillies versus the Mets, you would think.
I think those numbers are down, too, because when I was looking, they were up at like $250.
Yeah, well, on New York prices, I mean, I never adapt to New York. Ro likes to go to New York, Henry, but as soon as I hit with the price, no, I'm not doing it. I don't care. It's just ridiculous. So $47 less, you can get a seat in Citi Field before fees than here in Philadelphia. $222 though, but God knows where that seat is.
Oh, no, that's like standing room only.
Yeah.
Like if you want a seat, like even up in the nosebleeds in the 400 level, it's like $350. It's terrible.
Who in the world, though, let's take this. We know Bidenomics and all that. How are 42,000 people then, let's set a figure. A lot of them are paying over $300, and if there's two, there's $600, parking and all that. How are they affording that? You know, are they able to afford it? Are they just nuts?
Taking out a loan.
It's a great question.
Yeah. I mean, I can't condone that if you can't afford it. And then you're going to blame Biden. I mean, I want to blame Biden around the clock. As soon as the line at the Giant where we go is more than two people, I turn to Roe immediately and say, Biden, because there's not enough workers. Immediately. It doesn't even take me a nanosecond. So I don't stand in line here. But can I blame Biden for people spending this money and they don't have enough to go to the game?
Yeah.
And I have a rooting interest in this. Now, if I could do it over again, maybe I would have inserted even more. When we got DJ and I were sitting right behind John Middleton.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and listen to Middleton yesterday with Joe DeCamera on WIP break down with emotion about how much he wants this, he'll do anything to win, etc. I think they're talking about bringing Juan Soto here next year if they don't win, which is preposterous.
That'd be incredible. I mean, I know the Mets are thinking the same thing, too.
Yeah, but I mean, the affordability now, it gets to be how many $300,000 guys? Well, he's six probably, or $500 million.
At least.
At
He's
least.
having an incredible season again.
Exactly.
I did pull up live ticket numbers if you want.
Yeah,
them.
go ahead.
Game 1 cheapest is $231.
Okay.
Game 2 cheapest $260. Those are both in Philadelphia. Game 3 cheapest now $203. Game 4 Dom $167. You can get a ticket for.
Wow.
Then Game 5 $245. Game 6 $275. Game 7.
Well, there's only 5 games here.
Well, yeah. What the hell am I doing here?
Yeah. What are you looking at?
No. That switched to NLCS.
Yeah. Okay.
After the 5 games. Yeah.
Is the World Series over most likely before the election? I'm trying to see some angle here of who might show up at the Phillies game. I don't think they'll allow political figures to come here and be introduced at a Phillies game. Oh, that might be pretty tough. That might be nuts.
We need Chase Utley throwing out a first pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a Met killer.
Yeah,
that would bring the energy
he was
to the
on
roof.
national TV yesterday saying, I truly do hate the Mets.
Yeah.
So there was that. Yeah, I can understand that. All right, so it's I hate the Celtics. And that goes back to years of just the stuff they did with the Sixers was beyond belief. I mean, just blatant cheating. Which, if I were in charge, okay, you did that when you're there. Wait till you come to Philadelphia and you see what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
They would overheat. The showers were cold. I would just take out all the benches, all the lockers, whatever, have bare floors.
I would do that for the Penguins.
Yeah, we might skimp.
Get them out of here.
We might skimp on extermination of rodents and all in that visitor's locker room, too. I just couldn't get to it, you know?
Just let it fester.
Yeah, exactly.
Overflowing trash cans.
Yeah, exactly. Or toilets. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. 855-839-1210. You get on board. All right, Linda is in Georgia. By the way, yesterday we released this engagement, meaning people calling in, an encounter it's called. Who were the leaders in that? And Joe of Exton is the most recent leader. I started getting emails from some people saying maybe they are going to up their encounter. I don't know. Even the encounter thing now is fought. When we come up with the caller of the year this year, this is going to be a battle beyond belief.
Do we include the stats with the names?
Oh, yes. Yeah, now they're going to have their own. I want to get a card made for the top 4 callers of the year.
That would be
and
awesome,
on the back,
actually.
put their stats, put their favorite sayings, and why they're in there. Oh, yeah. We have
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah. I think we could do that. Yeah. So, of course, the Earl of Tacony was the caller of the year last year. I don't know.
Well,
This
the
year's
listeners
gonna
out
be
there
hard.
trading. I'll get you a Leslie for a Joe.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to Linda in Georgia. She's got a great question. Let me see if I can answer. Hey, Linda, welcome in.
Hey, good afternoon,
Good
Dom.
afternoon, Linda.
All right, my question is, because I haven't heard or seen anything about it, is there a plan in process to get voters to the polls in these hurricane-devastated states?
Well, I would say in North
that's
Carolina with Governor Cooper and the Democrats, there's not. They're wishing people can't get there because that's a rural red Trump area that's the most hard hit. But the next Republican, like Whatley and the others we get on, I'm sure they're cobbling something together to take care of this and to be able to do it. Now, we have enough time. We got about a month. But it's a great question. That's the only way I could see Trump losing North Carolina. The counter to that.
Yeah, and it scares me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Linda, the counter is Biden and Harris have been so bad during this. You think they'd pull out all the stops in these swing states, your state and North Carolina, that I don't see how they could win either one based upon their response.
Well.
So how does it feel?
How
does it feel in Georgia? How does it feel to you in Georgia?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm north of Atlanta,
Okay.
And I didn't have any problems.
But I meant the election too. How's that feel to you in Georgia?
Well, other than Fulton and DeKalb counties, the metropolitan Atlanta area. I mean, we in Cherokee County, this is very red out here. We are all about Trump.
I would say this. When we look at what happened in 2020, the rules that have tightened things up, and Kemp being with Trump today, and the Kemp machine, he's got a good machine there, whatever you think of him. I think Georgia.
I like him.
Yeah, if it's not a lock, but it's becoming closer and closer, I will be very surprised if Trump doesn't carry Georgia. Even with all the problems the last time, he still only had that 13,000 vote deficit. So he's going to carry Georgia.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Great question, though. Next time we get him on, we'll ask about that in North Carolina. I've always thought he'd carry North Carolina. And I'm not counting on Michigan. I think that gets to be kind of a pipe dream. That's tough, and so is Wisconsin. So you know what it means. It comes down to here. Can we do it? And here, it's going to be 2 or 3 days before we know. Let's go to Arlene in Cherry Hill. Hey, Arlene, you work at Citizens Bank. What do you think about what we've been talking about?
Well, that's why I called. You were saying about how people afford.
Yes.
And I was saying to the guy when I called in the course of the season, I see people come in. There'll be 3, 4 adults, 4, 5, 6 kids. They're coming in, and I often think to myself, in this economy, I mean, it's great, but how are they, and I see repeat people, how are they affording to be able to come with their kids? You'll see them later. The kids all have the ice cream bowl or the T-shirt or it's got to cost a fortune. I'm very excited, though, about the playoffs. I was telling him how last year you had the night where we had the opener for the Flyers, international soccer, and a playoff game. I had 2 guys come through the gate wearing hockey gear. And I'm like, aren't you at the wrong stadium? And no, they said, we were over there. He said, we had tickets for there, but now we left to come here. They had tickets for both games.
That is incredible.
Unbelievable
what people will spend.
For, I mean, I love it. But that's why, I couldn't pay to go. I will be there, though, this weekend. Yay!
Thank you, Arlene. Have a great start tomorrow. Yeah, how do people afford that, particularly with the kids, et cetera? It is daunting. to put it mildly.
I was there 2022. The Phillies were in the World Series. The Union were playing the MLS Cup final.
All right.
And it was Flyers opening night, and I was at Xfinity, and man, that was a scene.
Yeah,
that was a scene. I couldn't believe how many people. Yeah, like she said, you see a hot Flyers jersey and walk straight over to Citizens Bank Park right after.
Yeah, a sports market more than. But then again, you might waste that money and be spending it on Springsteen to bring that all the way back. Coming up, we'll play what Springsteen said, and there's a particular point in here where how much does he have to do before you say enough? Henry and I, when Dan was in a phone, he couldn't hear us, certainly because of his rabid nature here. We may have to put him in that soundproof booth again. It's like $64,000 question.
Yeah, I heard you called out my wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the side topic answer today with this chain pizza, yeah.
Oh, that was yours. I said it was yours.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
I thought you were calling out Maisie by saying
no,
it.
but it is. What's yours, by the way, Dan?
How about Cybertruck owners? Tesla Cybertruck owners?
Yes.
They're all kind of, exactly. Let's just say the Hummer owners found a new vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody or something that deserves the reputation.
One more while I'm on cars.
Yes.
How about Nissan Maximas and Nissan Altimas, especially here in Philadelphia? If they're trailing behind you, they're going to try to pass you in the median at some point.
Okay. I'm thinking of ones, too, the positive ones, and I have several people in mind who are just...
I got one. Can I take it off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think I can take it off? The meta answer of the caller that we think is really earned his reputation and deserves it?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Joe of Exton.
Yeah, Joe of Exton. Yeah, he deserves that honor. I don't know if he'll be the caller of the year. This is going to be a battle down to the wire. I think there will be political graft and drop boxes involved.
But the reputation of a guy sitting by the fire smoking that long pipe with his ascot on, he's really living that dream.
I'd like to have a drop box to see how many people would show up and put in a vote for the caller of the year. Might have to have security on that 24 hours a day.
Someone up outside the building?
Outside the building here, downtown Philadelphia. I could see somebody stuffing 50 votes.
Can we get Dropbox watchers?
Yes, exactly. We'll put Democrats in charge of it. All right, 855-839-1210. Let's talk batteries plus bulbs. My buddy Roy, for years, we've told you about them.
Somehow Jimmy Matthews ended up the winner, Dom.
Can you imagine? That's it. I'm not announcing.
Those Democratic poll watchers,
and Earl is, even if he loses this time, I still would call him caller of the year, not former caller of the year.
Didn't mean to interrupt you there. Sorry.
At Batteries Plus Bulbs, Mount Laurel, Route 73 in Northfield on Tilton Road, Roy is looking for help. We've told you about Batteries Plus Bulbs, anything you need in that field, any business, anything with tech, anything technological you need fixed, I don't care what it is. They power it, they light it, and they fix it. But man, the demand to people, our listeners, is such that Roy needs people at both stores. Handy do-it-yourselfer would be ideal. It's a great low-pressure, part-time job. So if you live customer service as he does, you need to talk with Roy. Call 856-638-0778, 856-638-0778. Remember, too, for all of your needs or anything that you have a question about, call them right now. Roy or one of the staff will get right on it with you. Batteries Plus Bulbs, Mount Laurel and Northfield.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Bruce Springsteen drinking a cup of coffee for 90 cents.
Just trying to get his morning fuel.
We were shocked by his endorsement.
Hi, I'm Bruce Springsteen.
Hi.
Friends, fans, and the press have asked me who I'm supporting in this most important of elections. I'm supporting Kamala Harris for president.
Boss, why are you endorsing Kamala Harris?
I'm just endorsing Kamala Harris because I'm a common man.
I don't know what I like more, your Bruce or your Bobby impersonation.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hey, did you hear? Wawa has classic hoagies for just $6.
Any classic hoagie?
Yeah, any classic hoagie.
What about the cheesesteak?
$6.
Meatball?
$6.
What about the Italian hoagie?
It's $6 for a classic. I shouldn't even have to ask, but what do you want for lunch?
Hoagies at Wawa, of course.
Right now, get any Wawa Classic Hoagie for $6. Gotta have a Wawa.
Hey, it's Rich. As the only winter is coming, water will freeze and thaw around your property and into your foundation, and that's when the worst damage will happen. I used to worry about water, but then Garden State Earthworks solved my water problem for good. When we had our wet basement, it was caused by excess outside stagnant water. We called Garden State Earthworks. They assessed and drained the water away once and for all. Call the guy I trust, Lou Vargo at Garden State Earthworks, 856-848-4444 or GardenStateEarthworks.com.
Honey, I'm going to Wawa for dinner.
Okay, but Ben wants pizza.
Yep.
And Nick wants a burger and fries.
Right.
Oh, and the twins, they won't touch anything except for mac and cheese.
Exactly. Wawa has something for everyone for dinner, so I only have to make one stop to make everyone happy. So, what do you want?
Well, if you're going to Wawa, I have to have a hoagie.
From burgers to hoagies and everything in between, Wawa has dinner for everyone.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/gutter to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/gutter. That's leaffilter.com/gutter.
Calling on Percy to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
All right, I'm a taxpayer, a big mouth media member, and yet some pesky Secretary of State Al Schmidt, who's out there with a big mouth, telling us constantly that the election won't be decided for days here in Pennsylvania afterward. Dan, he's unavailable to come on the Dom Giordano show to tape at midnight, 2 in the morning, go over his house.
So this is what happened. So we now have Henry on the team, too, which means our effort has become even more relentless in trying to get the secretary on.
Okay, one note before you go forward. I'm going to tag in DJ. DJ, if you're listening, Al Schmidt.
Well,
Let's see what happens.
Let me tell you what happened, because for a while they just weren't responding to me alone, but then Henry gets involved and they start responding again. We're trying to get him on just for any kind of update on voter integrity, and we offer time. It started 9 days ago. 8 days ago they respond. 2 days ago we send another response asking for another interview, unavailable. So I essentially said, look, guys, we just want Secretary Schmidt on. It doesn't matter when, where. Just bring him on the show. It's an evergreen topic. We'll delve into it whenever the secretary's free. Anytime, gave him the times that'll work. We'd also be happy to tape if there's no availability within the live window. Kind of something we normally do when booking guests. Here's the response that we got. I'll read it verbatim from the office. Hey, Dan, unfortunately, the secretary's calendar is booked through the election, and he won't be able to do this interview. Thank you again for the invite. Apparently, we're booking now months in advance. Well, a month in advance.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Please send back immediately to him, Dan. We'd like to have him on the day after the election. Let's see what the response is.
All right, sending it out right now.
Thank you very much. My point being, that might even be better to have him at that point when the counting's still going on, because the day of the election is when he's booked up till. We can get ridiculous. We can say, let's look at 2025. Can you imagine?
You can hear me typing over here.
That's right. That's exactly.
So we'd like to have him on the day after the election. Would he happen to be free then?
Can you imagine, Dan? And this
wide open.
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy is in charge of deciding, in some ways, the election, because he has to be rock steady here in what he does, the infrastructure of this, and he can't handle talking to me.
Now, do they just hate me? Should I get Henry to make this response? Because he's CC'd on this email. And
yeah, sure. Let's see if they do it to Henry. Yeah, man, let's try that.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
All right. Because I'll put it up on the screen for you just to essentially copy onto your email.
And then realize if I call in DJ and there's a bounty, like DJ, if you get him on, it's $100. God knows what might happen.
Oh, we're putting bounties now?
Yeah.
and like completely legal ones. That's talking about
legal
like getting guests on the show. We're not talking any kind of violence or anything.
No, it's an incentive, a bounty to you, not to Al Schmidt. Yeah, we're not talking about that in any way, shape, or form.
Sean Payton is not joining the show.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Tom Fitton is joining the show, though. We haven't talked to the guy from Judicial Watch, for my money, the best around election integrity issues. He's got a new book, Rights and Freedom in Peril from the Left. We'll talk with him about the book. But what does he say? What are they going to do? These are the Freedom of Information Act guy. These are the guys well-heeled that are in federal court constantly protecting our rights. He hasn't been on in a couple of years, I think. He's next here. And Al Schmidt, we'd love to have you on Talk Radio 1210.
The leaves are changing color, the air is crisp, and it's the perfect time to fall into savings on a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. Take advantage of these incredible offers. A 2025 XC40 for only $435 per month on a 36-month lease. A 2024 C40 for only $329 per month on a 36-month lease. Or get 3.99% financing on select new Volvos for 72 months. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-353-9057. 800-353-9057 or biglou.com.
The following is a paid commercial message. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren. But prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of healthcare insurance. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
When was the last time you watched your home movies? Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
Your weeknights are getting a whole lot better. With Jimmy Fallon 7 to 10 p.m. starting Monday, October 7th.
Honestly, I do mean this. What an incredible honor to join this lineup because, like, the thing you guys do that matters to me, you guys know your listeners. You hang out with them, you meet them, you do events. Like, that to me is amazing. That's why I got into radio. Is like, you want to be a part of the community. Like, I'm always on tour doing live events. I want to be part of the community, which is a fancy way of me saying I got to get out of New York a lot because I owe a lot of people money. But the point is, I'll be there.
Jimmy Fallon, weeknights 7 to 10 p.m. starting October 7th on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Momentarily, we'll talk with Tom Fitton. Just wanted to clarify what Dan and I were saying here, Dan, because we want Al Schmidt on the show so we can have a conversation because there are a lot of questions out there. And DJ is the one that would get paid to get him on the show. That's exactly what we were talking about. I don't want any, because...
Are you getting questions about it?
No, I just want to...
Just be clear.
Yeah, I see what he went through in 2020.
Yes, that's
and
true.
even though I completely differed with how he conducted himself, he should have allowed us to see the votes. The threats that he got and all, they should have been prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
And you always offer the utmost respect to anybody who might differ
Yes.
even slightly with you. So, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's something like this, though. If we duke it out, it's going to be back and forth on the issues. That's all. Okay, so Al, come on the show. Stop it already. You're looking ridiculous saying he can't do it till after the election. All right, then the next day, once the votes are out there and all, well, I'm too busy then. Okay, well. All right, Tom Fitton is one of our favorites all time. Hasn't been on in a while from Judicial Watch. They do work that nobody else does. His new book, Rights and Freedom in Peril, is a journey through some of the biggest things we're talking about, including election integrity, the border, January 6th. Tom joins us here in Philadelphia, again on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Tom, thanks for coming back, and thanks for the book. Great look at some of the biggest issues we're facing.
Yeah, thank you, Dom. I appreciate it. And I don't like to go back through the book again because it's too upsetting.
Well, you guys are upsetting, though, to the other side. I mean, how many Freedom of Information Acts can one group file and be successful on and follow up with? How many do you do in a year, would you think, at Judicial Watch?
we do thousands every year. And, we can only do a small fraction of that in terms of litigation. But, nevertheless, it means we're the number one litigator under the Freedom of Information Act. In Pennsylvania, the state law is literally the right to know law. And, as a result, we have an insight in the way government operates, and we get secrets they don't want us to know about. And on all the topics we're talking about, of course, we have much more aggressive litigation as well, where we sue government and states and such to get them to obey the law. I mean, we had a big case against Pennsylvania, and they settled with us over voter roll cleanups up there. So your state has cleaner voting rolls thanks to our lawsuits.
Yeah, I think Joe Frazier still might be on the voting rolls, though. We got to get that one off. I have to check this year's version of it. Tom, in the book, first thing I'd like to talk about, because I really agree with this, it's a good insight. When you talk about the border, why in the world have an open border? Why would Democrats do that? Could be a lot of reasons. Would you say it's fair to say in the book, though, you come down to they're trying to pad the census in states that might, districts that might be close, redistricting and all that stuff. And I guess eventually think by hook or by crook, they're going to get these people to be citizens and or, even if they're not, vote somehow or another.
Yeah, if those non-citizens who invaded in the last few years, for instance, are not removed in the next few years, they're going to be counted under the census. And that means places like Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Democratic, largely Democratic states, or in the case of Pennsylvania, I know it's a close-run thing, they're going to benefit from those individuals being there, meaning they will have more seats in Congress as a result. They may have literally less citizens, but more seats in Congress because the non-citizens are counted. And not only does that mean they have more power in Congress, it means that when it comes to presidential elections, they have electoral votes that they benefit from. They either get to keep votes they otherwise might lose or have increased power in the Electoral College. And now there are states like Florida and Texas that are going to have large immigrant populations too. So it does help some Republican states. But any fair-minded analysis will conclude, based on the numbers, that we're talking about 25 seats that are likely to be in reliable Democrat states as a result of this invasion in Congress, in the House.
Yeah. That is often a margin that you just can't do anything about, and it grows. As far as election integrity, you talk about that and this particular election in the book, Rights and Freedom in Peril. What is it that keeps you up at night as a guy on the cutting edge of this around election integrity as we're 30 days out, Tom?
Well, obviously, you've got the mass mailing of ballots to lists that are dirty. We've done a lot of litigation on that. We've cleaned up 4 million names from the rolls just in the last 2 years. California, Pennsylvania, even New York City and here in D.C., but there's still too many dirty names on the rolls. And then, to me, the biggest issue in 2020, and I do think it's going to be an issue in 2024, is the counting of ballots that arrive after Election Day, and frankly, just post-Election Day counting generally. And in 2020, President Trump had the votes to win on Election Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come midnight, he was the winner. And those vote totals changed as the result of unprecedented counting in these swing states. Counting that I would submit is in violation of the law. Federal law says you got to pick your electors on Election Day. And I'm sorry, but when you're accepting ballots that arrive after Election Day, it's obvious violation of the law. And I would argue counting ballots for days after the election makes a mockery of the rule of law as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the upside, Tom, do you share my view, and I'm not there on the ground, that Georgia has really tightened up Kemp and his machine, but also those reforms they put in Georgia, Fulton County? You should have a good shot this time around at getting the right result as far as what people actually voted.
Maybe. But if in one county there's a holdup in the counting of ballots, who knows? I mean, I've seen 2 or 3 stories in the Washington Post trying to prep the battlefield, saying, for instance, in Pennsylvania, we may not know for days who won. As if that's normal and right and lawful and in accord with any concept of election integrity. The country of France can figure out who won the presidency in one day. Why can't the state of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, that's the Secretary of State, Tom, who can't come on this show until after Election Day, and then probably not that either, setting the battlefield here. I'm predicting the over and under. It would probably be Thursday night at the best that Pennsylvania is done, at the worst, into the weekend.
Unacceptable. And, to me, depending on what the outcome is and whether it accords with, what people are comfortable with in terms of who they think should have won, given the outcomes in other jurisdictions, it really compromises the final outcome in the minds of individual voters. And frankly, this is another opportunity for Congress to take steps, for the legislatures to take steps. I mean, we can't have elections continuously compromised in this country. We just can't have it. We're going to lose our country. And, talk about rights and freedoms in peril. If your right to vote doesn't mean anything, what does that mean for the whole concept of a Republican form of government and self-government? And I'm sorry, but having elections that begin weeks before Election Day and really never, that's not a normal election. That's a rolling survey that has as much credibility as a poll.
Exactly. Tom, in your book, you jump into January 6th, I think, in a very unique and reasonable way. Same thing I try to do. The investigation now, the AG's office being held up by the Department of Justice, because it's not saying that the FBI definitively triggered this, but we have a right to know how many assets were involved, exactly what they were doing, any communications around that. So talk about in the book, Rights and Freedom in Peril. And Tom, the book is available next week?
Yeah, it comes out the 15th, but, now with the internet, you can order it and set it and forget it, and it'll get to you on the 15th. So go online now and take it.
Give me your take on January 6th and where we are.
Oh, I think it was a First Amendment-related protest that got out of hand because of lack of security, a willful lack of security by anti-Trumpers in Washington, D.C., in the various agencies, and in Congress. And, one of the key things that we took away from January 6th is, well, who was the only homicide victim that day? Ashley Babbitt, killed by Lieutenant Michael Byrd, then, Capitol Hill police officer. And, we've all seen officer-involved shootings. We've all been educated about what the processes are. None of that was applied for Ashley. We didn't know who his name was until months after January 6th. He was provided, and this is in the book, accommodations at Andrews Air Force Base, or Joint Base Andrews now. The general quarters were in the hotel on the base for 6 months.
And
ask one of your colleagues, your friends in the Philly Police Department, whether they get a hotel room for 6 months if they were involved in an officer-involved shooting.
Yeah, exactly right. Tom, favorite part of the book? Is there another part of the book you'd point us to? Those are the ones that really jumped out at me. What else would we find in the book?
Well, you know what? You're going to love the part, your listeners, about Joe Biden and his crazy dogs.
Of course,
and to be serious, his dogs bit 25 Secret Service agents.
Wow.
And if you want to know why the Secret Service is a mess, read that chapter. It's going to knock your socks off.
Yeah, that is what's the biggest reform, Judicial Watch? What has to be done with the Secret Service other than the people at top? Even the rank and file, there was bravery, protecting Trump and all that. But it doesn't strike me, even the rank and file, Tom, are anywhere near what they used to be, or at least what I perceive them to be.
It's like every other deep state agency. They're intensely political and ideological and compromised at the same time. So you've got this competence and corruption issue, right? And then you've got this DEI overlay where all communications every day in every way we just uncovered. I don't think we made it into the book because it was after we had written it. That was the Secret Service motto when it comes to DEI. And I don't think these agencies are redeemable in their current form. It's kind of like a whole of agency approach and reform that I don't see too many people in this town willing to engage in. Some of the agencies, like the FBI and Justice Department, I don't think are redeemable in their current form.
Without a doubt. Tom, Rights and Freedom in Peril, available. Is there a website to go to? Go to Judicial Watch. You can order it there. Where do you go?
Yeah, judicialwatchbook.com. And, it's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and all the booksellers right now. So everyone can get a preview copy. I tell you, get copies for your friends and families. I'm not just saying that because I'm the writer. It's a Judicial Watch book. It's the book America needs right now. It really is.
Tom, thank you. As always, great work. And thank you. Come back before or after the election anytime we can get you.
Dom, I appreciate it. These book interviews are going to kill me because I get so angry about what's going on. But there's a way forward, and we got to do it.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch. They do tremendous work, a lot of insight on election integrity. Notice where he went. Pennsylvania. Yeah, why are they saying we can't possibly be anywhere near it? Using the excuse that Democrats want to get rid of that provision that says, nope, you're not going to open up those mail-in ballots. We know why they want to do that. They want to say they have a big lead. Why even show up and vote? So no, just count better. Machinery, people, expertise. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Coming to your calls. Don't forget the side question today in dishonor of the Mets fans. Somebody or something that deserves its reputation. Usually negative, but if it's a great reputation, you could say, yeah, I give you one. Mr. Rogers, by all accounts, deserved his reputation. There are positive ones out there of people that deserve that. John Middleton, his reputation of being an owner that Philadelphia loves because he wants to win. I'm there an hour listening to him talking to a random fan, seeing him take pictures with everybody, even deflecting DJs back and forth with him on trades and all. I think DJ traded 3/4 of the team around that.
Yeah, he really changed and saved his reputation because when he first took over, he was kind of tepid, kind of spend, and then he realized, like, what are owners remembered for? They're remembered for winning, not for making money. And that's exactly what he's done since then.
Yeah, exactly.
Changed his frame of thinking.
855. Well, I don't know who the most popular owner is right now. I don't think it's Jeffrey Lurie. We don't even see who owns the Flyers. I mean, I know who
Dan
it is.
Hilferty. He'll be up there soon too.
You think so?
Absolutely. With the moves they've made and where they're going, I think they'll be up there soon.
And Josh Harris. Oh my God,
no.
not at all. All right, and I don't think of the other teams. I'm trying to think of some of the other ownership. Too minor to know. The Union and all that. I don't even count that. All right, 855-839-1210, though. Do get in today. 1:30, if all goes according to plan. I think we're going to be on Starlink or something. This guy that Dan became friendly with, we had him on a lot when East Palestine was really hot. This is the guy that was covering it right there in the streets. Remember that? The train collision, Biden not going. He's in North Carolina now. And what's going on there is amazing what people are telling us, the lack of response by the federal government, by Kamala Harris, Biden, etc. Will it affect voting, though, in North Carolina as far as the ability to vote? All that straight ahead. Talk Radio 1210.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there. investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Bruce Springsteen offering his endorsement in a Jersey diner. Of course, not on his gazillion-dollar farm where he gets tax breaks.
Pancakes.
Not at the dressage that his daughter does around the world. I guess she's still doing that. Not at his billion-dollar sale of his portfolio. All right, here's what he said, and the point with Springsteen is, I can't tell if he actually has influence of any sort. Now, I know there's a camp of people who believe that no endorsement works. I'm not in that camp. I'm not sure that his endorsement, though, is going to move voters toward Kamala Harris. Here's what he said.
Hi, I'm Bruce Springsteen.
No, is that really him speaking? It sounds like a bad
It sounds like yeah, and he's in a diner with a cup of coffee, I think, somewhere there. Yeah,
this is verifiably Bruce Springsteen.
Yes, it is.
It's
not AI.
Yeah.
Friends, fans, and the press have asked me who I'm supporting in this most important of elections.
Oh, it's so fake.
And with full knowledge that my opinions no more or less important than those of any of my fellow citizens, here's my answer.
Nobody talks like
Kamala
this.
Harris for president and Tim Walz for
sorry.
Let's hear him a little bit more.
I'm sorry, but
Please give us a chance here.
He's so fake that nobody talks like this.
He's been performing 4 hours a night every
No,
show.
that's not
for
what it is.
years.
He's putting on an act.
I don't think that's an act. I think that's his voice.
Here's my answer. I'm supporting Kamala Harris for president and Tim Walz for vice president and opposing Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Here's why. We are shortly coming upon one of the most consequential elections in our nation's history.
Oh, come on.
Perhaps not since the Civil War.
He's an accent now?
Has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment. It doesn't have to be this way.
Okay, let's stop there. Let's stop there. Now, I think we have to do a better job. The thing I wanted to call out in this, other than all the affectations, is this. We are going to be divided. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, I'm not saying to kill each other. How in the world are we, if it's Kamala Harris, how in the world are we not going to be divided? She's not going to govern from any kind of magical center. There's going to be division, and there's nothing wrong. We differ with the point of view of Walz, Harris. We differ with progressives. We differ with Democrats. What are we coming together to do? Why would we do that? We are going to be divided. If they win, which I don't see reasonable shot that they are at this point, if they did win, we're going to oppose them because we know exactly what they're about and what they want to do. We know exactly what she has stood for. So there's no magical middle. Now, if the person in endorsement said, look, I think we can do better as far as we might agree on a thing here, one of those type of endorsements, but the outrage of saying this is all due to Trump and this division, there's nothing as divisive as where the Democrats want to take the country because they don't. The point I come to every election, Obama started this, but he was more mild in presentation. All we ever want to do as Americans is get better, meaning tweak the country. We don't want to change it because fundamentally it's correct. It works. It's the best system ever. It's divinely inspired. That's the only way you can explain it. So all we have to do is to do better at it and fundamentally, by extension, in small gulps, continue to make it better. Tweak it. That's not what they want to do. They oppose traditional America. They see traditional America and what goes on as wrong. They fundamentally want to gut the Constitution and many of the things that, and that's their point of view. They have a right to it. So, Dan, that's the part that I go off on here rather than his voice and the whole preposterous part of this. And I was asking Henry when you were in the soundproof room, I waited until you went in there with Dawn, about the idea of how long can people go? What I think they get is they get nostalgia. They've gone forever. They want to keep on adding to the number of times they see him. But they can't possibly think the storyline, the narrative is genuine and not fraudulent. And Henry's parents, how many times have they been gone, Henry?
Probably at least once a year for the last few years.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's it. But, you know, what did they say when, you know the message, the middle class under fire, these Tank Towns jersey, when he did dynamic pricing with Ticketmaster? I mean, it's one thing to be a capitalist, but if your narrative is what he purports, you can't be charging those type of prices, right? I mean, I don't want to put your parents in the docket. I'm just saying.
Well, our resident Bruce expert says, oh boy, this is Anne-Marie Muldoon.
Oh, yeah.
He has zero influence with most fans.
Okay. Well, that's what everybody says with these endorsements. Guess what? I don't buy that. It all adds up. It's a game of inches. People think because Springsteen says it in an endorsement, people are going to go and vote for Harris. What it does is a game of inches. When you have endorser after endorser say something, people start to think, yeah, I don't know, maybe Harris isn't that bad. It's not a ringing endorsement. I don't know anybody that has the power. It seems to me that Taylor Swift's endorsement has not moved the needle as much as I thought it might. But we'll know in election time, Dan, if these women who never vote suddenly come out because of abortion and Taylor Swift, then it's going to move the needle. So, Henry, do you have any more? I didn't want to put your parents on the docket here with this, but I'm interested why people still go and see it, because I get the physicality. I don't know if I get art here anymore because it's a fraudulent message to me.
Yeah, and it's like I said earlier, I think they can separate, his message from the music.
Okay.
And he just puts on a good show, and it's not gonna sway their vote, I don't think.
I don't mean vote, but I have trouble when I think the narrative is in the beginning with what he did when he was coming up. Well, you could argue the narrative wasn't fraudulent. I could see enjoying him and continuing to do it. I witnessed him when he did the 10-day 21-gun salute to John Kerry. All the way back in 2004, I covered it.
Yeah, I also think it'd be a little different if he was still putting out music, kind of like he was, like 70s, 80s.
Okay.
Still, with that same message, it'd be different. But since, when he did put out that music, that was what he was. Now it's okay. I don't see the big issue.
So it's the rhythm of the song, the music, the experience of that. People are not saying, oh, yeah, I agree with his narrative here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Dan, any more, or your angst cured there?
Yeah, it's just like...
I know. That's why we waited till you were in the room.
I just, where I really think it comes down to Bruce and the suburban, love for him in New Jersey it's a status symbol at this point for a lot of people. They're like, I went to the Bruce concert last week, and, were you there?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they're really listening to his politics as much anymore.
Okay. 855-839-1210. You get on board AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is push pound 1210. We'll get you in. Hit us on the side question, too, which is somebody who deserves their reputation. All right, we're going to go, hopefully, to North Carolina with this guy that we met, Nick Sorter. East Palestine. He was the guy right there, and it took a lot of guts to be in the middle of God knows what could happen to you. He's in North Carolina. What are Biden and Harris thinking? These are two swing states, Georgia and North Carolina. And I think it's a fair estimation to say they're not moving heaven and earth to help people. They're shutting people down who are trying to help. What are they thinking politically? And their argument is you're making that up. I don't think we're making it up. We're going to go to the belly of the beast with Nick Sorter next on Talk Radio 1210.
This school year, get your child or grandchild the help they need to succeed. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and help your child have an outstanding year. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
Saving for retirement is one thing. Making your money last? For that, you may need some help. Listen to Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The following is a paid commercial message. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren. But prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of healthcare insurance. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
We'll expect a beautiful weekend of weather and good weather for baseball. Today, 77 degrees with some clouds and maybe a shower overnight. Tomorrow, turning sunny and pleasant with a high of 79. 76 for Sunday, mostly sunny and beautiful.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Tom Giordano's show. So this guy, Nick Sorter, that we've worked with before, really is in difficult areas trying to establish contact with him. And Dan, it underlines, when we do, we'll get him on.
Yep.
Somebody called in Georgia, and I said, I'm not sure. Next big Republican we get on, like Watley, I'm sure they're on top of this. How are they going to get people to vote in these ravaged areas of North Carolina? Maybe a bit into Georgia. These are red. This is Trump area. But the overall net impact of this is political malpractice. You know, I don't care what the Harris campaign says, we're making it up. They don't have the money. They don't have the overwhelming resources. Mayorkas has even said this. We know they've spent a lot of it on illegal immigrants. That's what it comes down to. That's fact. It's not made up. They shouldn't have been involved in that. Now they want Congress to come back somehow or another and give them more money. FEMA we're talking about. FEMA is not an organization I would be relying on either. Remember them in Katrina? Now it's George Bush. Remember the guy he put in charge? The idiocy of that in New Orleans? He used to run Arabian horse fairs.
Sorter's calling in about 2 minutes, Dom.
Stuff like that. So, FEMA ought to be this. It's another organization that's screwed up, kind of like the Secret Service. There's going to be a price to pay in North Carolina. I think Trump was going to win it anyhow. All right, Dan, you have breaking news, though, on all this hurricane stuff in North Carolina from Nancy Mace.
Yeah, I actually got this from Nick Sorter, so this is probably what he's sorting out right now. He says he's got caught up. He's going to be calling us in about 2 minutes. But Nancy Mace just released this. This is out to Congress session. It's a bill that she's introduced. It says, beginning on the date of the enactment of this act, no federal funds are authorized to be appropriated or otherwise made available to the Shelter and Services Program of the Federal Emergency Management Agency as in effect on the day before such date of enactment or to any successor or similar program. Section 2, transfer of appropriations. Then unobligated balances of all amounts appropriated or otherwise made available to the Shelter and Services Program of the Federal Emergency Management Agency as of the day before the date of the enactment of this act shall be transferred to and merged with amounts otherwise made available for necessary expenses to carry out the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act, in reference to what's going on down there in the hurricane relief efforts.
So the bottom line is what here with all that?
She's writing a bill essentially enforcing an act there through that we're going to divert these funds that's being used for the sheltering of these migrants and put it towards this disaster relief effort.
We have Eric Trump on this before we go to Nick Sorter. He was on Fox, I believe. And Henry, do you know that one? Yeah, here it is.
Got it.
Cut 16. Here's what Eric Trump said about that.
By the way, any of you out there want to trust your government? When it comes to hurricane victims, stayed away for a week and he was president. If your father, put funds that were designed for FEMA and the American people for emergency relief and gave it to, other groups, he'd be handcuffed, fingerprinted, put in jail, they'd throw away the key.
Sean, right now there are 157 hotels in New York City that are completely full of illegal immigrants. Let me just repeat that number. 150 hotels in New York City that are completely full of illegal immigrants. New York City alone spends over $1 billion a year on illegal immigrants. And then you see these pictures of husbands and wives and children who have lost everything. Their homes have floated down rivers. Their homes have been taken out by mudslides. Their vehicles are gone. Their picture albums are destroyed. Every sentimental value that they could ever possibly imagine is gone. Will never be brought back. And what does Kamala do? She comes out and offers $750. $750. The TV in the person's house costs more than $750, and you see the absolute destruction. Sean, of all the political things that I've seen in the last decade, This is the one that bothers me the most.
Okay, Henry,
Hands down,
thank you.
by far.
Thanks.
We have
That's
spent
Eric Trump, 157 hotels. We've seen, maybe Cardinal Dolan will have something to say about this. Let's go to our friend in the wilderness all the time. Great journalism. Nick Sorter is with us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Nick, welcome back. I wanted to tell listeners you were the hero of East Palestine for us. Where are you and what's on your mind today in Carolina?
You know, I am out here in Anka, North Carolina. There are so many small towns that dot the western North Carolina region. You know, it's not just Asheville. That's what everybody, you know, when they think of western North Carolina, they're thinking of Asheville. That is not the case. Asheville did not feel even, you know, not even 50% of what these small towns are feeling out here. And so we've been going around and reconnecting them using Starlink. We've been doing, I was here the first day. I was the first one that set it up at the hotel where the first responders were staying, because even first responders aren't able to communicate with each other. They have to use Starlink. They're using them now to communicate with each other. Like we've had a police escort going around the region here, you know, to get around the roadblocks and such. It makes it a lot easier, and we can, you know, push through into areas which typically would not be accessible. And they are communicating with each other. We have 3 units. All of them are using the Starlink that's mounted in the windshield of my vehicle in order to communicate.
Well, what is Starlink, Nick Sorter, and how does it work?
So Starlink is basically, it's Elon Musk's company,
right?
Where there is a massive satellite constellation. I think there's about 6,000 satellites now, and you can get internet from practically anywhere that you can see the sky. So we can go up into the mountains. We're an hour away from a city center at this point, and you have full-on Wi-Fi that's faster than what you would even get from your cable company. And all it is a satellite receiver.
Wait a minute, Nick. Wait a minute. We have Comcast versus Starlink. Let me think here.
I think a lot of the pushback against Starlink comes from these big companies like Comcast and such, because they're so nervous because this is a new technology that's going to...
And the Russians. Comes from the Russians, too. Yeah,
sure it does. Yeah.
Exactly. So, Nick, is it overstating it to say the people you've come across feel that they're, in many regards, not being protected by their government, not helped out, not getting a leg up?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. You know, keep in mind that Asheville is pretty liberal, right? That's the liberal dot, the blue dot that's right in the middle of big red western North Carolina. And everybody there that I've spoken with, you know, I've talked to people that are like, you know, full-on almost Bernie type people, and even they're pissed off at what's going on with the government. They've lost all hope. And, you know, I think it was a wake-up call for a lot of people, realizing that the government is not on your side. They're not your friends. They're not here to help us. They're here to help themselves and make themselves look good. So the tactic that the Biden regime, the Biden-Kamala regime has been using mostly out here is cover it up. Stop talking about it. You know, if you notice, a lot of the times when if Biden or Kamala talk about this situation at all, they won't mention, you know, western North Carolina. They won't mention Asheville and such. They're trying to make people not realize that the Katrina-level catastrophe that just happened here, and, you know, the fact that they're not even trying to reconnect these small-town fire departments, and people like me, some random guy from Twitter is going around doing it and reconnecting thousands of people, that tells you all you need to know.
It's a national stuff. Nick, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you do this. In East Palestine, you're in the middle of stuff that I've done a lot of stuff, but I'd be scared to death there in the beginning about the toxic dangers. Now you're in the middle of this, and you're right, a one-man band reconnecting people. So, Nick, how are these people going to vote? What is it on the ground that's going to happen as far as polling places or by mail or whatever? This is a critical area of North Carolina.
You know, I've started to, the first few days I was here, that was not even a topic of conversation. Mm-hmm. But now it's more and more people are starting to realize that, hey, you know, we're not even allowed back into our towns. We're not allowed to, you know, our towns don't have power. They may not have power for months. They definitely won't have running water for months, if not a year. And so they're probably going to have to leave the area. They're not even going to be able to vote. And how do you vote by mail They don't have a permanent address. They can't have stuff sent to some random address. You can't have your ballot sent somewhere random. So these people they're now questioning, like, okay, I'm not going to be able to vote. And if you take all these Western North Carolina votes out of the equation, you're gonna end up, flipping North Carolina blue. Asheville, I guarantee you, they're going to find a way to make sure all the Democrats in Asheville can vote. There's no way they won't allow that to happen.
And Governor Cooper, I'm sure there is that's the least of our worries. We're trying to get people back together. He was almost the VP choice. So, Nick, what can we do here in Philadelphia? You're always the point person in these things. First of all, where do people follow Nick Sortor on Twitter?
Well, it's just at Nick Sortor. That's NickSortor. And, really what we need to keep people talking about it. That's what we need. We need to keep the media attention on it, because the more we hold the regime's feet to the fire, the more they're forced to do. But as we know, with East Palestine, and I was also on Maui for the fires out there, as soon as the media attention goes away, the government response, just whatever response it is going away too. They're not going to dedicate any resources to an area where they're not being held accountable for it. And that's what I'm worried about happening here. When I got here, there was no media here at all. And I was shocked. I mean, I essentially had to, I'll just go ahead and say it, do something to me, I guess. But I didn't come in here legally, right? I had to find my way in. But if I didn't find my way in, I'm telling you right now, what we're seeing with the Starlinks and the amount of people talking about reconnecting these towns, that conversation may not have even happened. That's the issue, because they were telling everybody not to come in, that you weren't allowed in, and they were going to arrest you if you came in. But I'm telling the state troopers were super thankful that we came in here and did this. So, and I'm glad we did.
Nick,
we took that risk, and
Nick,
it worked out.
We know in East Palestine why Biden didn't want to go there, then became more arrogant. They sent Mayor Pete, et cetera. In the middle of this election, with these two critical states, in Georgia, some of these problems, and right next door, this is political malpractice. You at least have to pretend that you're doing stuff. So does it tell me, other than the character of Harris and Biden, particularly Biden in this, that FEMA just doesn't have the resources? They've spent it on things like, illegal immigrants. Is that what is not getting people help?
Well, if they have resources, they ain't here. I'll tell you that much. I don't know where they are. I haven't seen FEMA. I haven't seen a single person from FEMA out here at all. I've traveled thousands of miles in the past 7 days, all across Western North Carolina, and I haven't seen a single FEMA asset, not one.
Wow.
And so Biden's trying to say that, all the resources have been deployed, there's no more left to give. Where are they? Where are they? Nobody can answer that question for me. And I know that a lot of the stuff they're putting out is propaganda, because Biden tweeted out saying that he reconnected a fire station with Starlink the other day, very, very specifically said a specific fire location. And that fire chief saw the tweet, and he texted me just lambasting Joe Biden, saying that he lied. He literally, you guys set this up here. He didn't set it up. He's lying. So even the resources that they are saying have been deployed, they're lying about it. It's absurd.
Yeah. Nick, you are such a great read. We got to meet you in person. I mean, I don't know how you came about to us in East Palestine. Again, tell listeners where they can find you. And we want an update on Monday, Nick, if you can. I'll put you on hold here in a second. Where can we find you on Twitter?
So you can find me on Twitter at Nick Sortor, NickSortor. Best place for me.
All right, Nick, I'll put you on hold and I'll let the guys schedule you and get you an update on Monday to see where this goes. Fox reporting that active duty troops are being sent into Western Carolina at this point. It ought to shock people, and I'm sure in North Carolina, the people not being helped, it's going to impact voting if they can vote. So we'll try to get you by Monday. The voting critical swing state. Same thing with Georgia. Coming up, Dan's got something in Dan Time with Dom today from Minnie, I believe.
This is awesome.
That's pretty
man.
good
It's
stuff.
pretty
I saw
cool
it on
stuff.
Twitter. Yep. All right, so let's talk about if you're tired of relying on caffeine for a quick energy fix. That's okay occasionally. There's a better way, though, to revitalize your body from within. Introducing Oracene by Rescue Natural Supplements. This is the cellular energizer that helps your body produce its own natural fuel. Say goodbye to daily fatigue and hello to lasting energy. As a bonus, Oracene supports heart health and optimal blood pressure. That's why you can't miss out on this exclusive radio offer. Buy one bottle of Oracene, get another absolutely free. Simply use the code FUEL when you place your order. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Be sure to use that code FUEL, F-U-E-L, for this buy one, get one free offer on Rescue Oracene. Remember, use the code FUEL at res-q.com.
October is the perfect time for the Zeoli Army to storm the beaches of Cape May, so join me Friday, October 11th, 3 to 7 p.m. for our next live show at my happy place, the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey. The bar will be open, your fellow Zeoli Army members will be there, and I want you to be there as well. Don't miss this live show. It's going to be a blast. All the live shows are always an amazing, amazing event. I'll see you Friday at the Grand Hotel.
Hey, did you hear? Wawa has classic hoagies for just $6.
Any classic hoagie?
Yeah, any classic hoagie.
What about the cheesesteak?
$6.
Meatball?
$6.
What about the Italian hoagie?
It's $6 for a classic. I shouldn't even have to ask, but what do you want for lunch?
Hoagies at Wawa, of course.
Right now, get any Wawa classic hoagie for $6. Gotta have a Wawa.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The Dock Workers Union returns to the negotiating table and suspends its strike until January 15th. The SS United States was burglarized days after a tentative deal was struck to turn it into an artificial reef, and the NLDS begins tomorrow at the Bank, the Phillies' first ever postseason tilt against the Mets.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio, now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Honey, I'm going to Wawa for dinner.
Okay, but Ben wants pizza.
Yep.
And Nick wants a burger and fries.
Right.
Oh, and the twins, they won't touch anything except for mac and cheese.
Exactly. Wawa has something for everyone for dinner, so I only have to make one stop to make everyone happy. So, what do you want?
Well, if you're going to Wawa, I have to have a hoagie.
From burgers to hoagies and everything in between, Wawa has dinner for everyone.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
With the federal government allowing over 20 million non-residents into our country to participate in social programs that they aren't paying for, the taxes on your portfolio are set to skyrocket.
Barry Kaiser. I started with Crash Proof Retirement in 2005. With this year's election, I'm concerned there will be continued high spending, providing opportunities for people who aren't even American citizens. Taxes would continue to go up and families would have a much much more difficult time living, but I don't have to be concerned financially because I've been through 2 market crashes since I've been in crash-proof retirement, and I have not lost a penny. With the crash-proof retirement system, I've earned over 10%. Once it is credited, you never lose it. With crash-proof retirement, I'm election-proof.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Spring Mill Country Club on October 16th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
with Dom.
That's right. It's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan Time with Dom. And Dom, we have a debut to announce. So coming up next, we have Garrison Lovely. He's a columnist for the New York Times. He writes for Jacobin, a couple different magazines. And what he does is he has a lot of warnings about the dangers of AI. And we were talking the Easy Pass yesterday and automation and such and how that's really becoming a problem in the economy. So he's going to be coming up here at 2. But I want to offer a counter argument for some benefits of AI. This one is actually kind of on the fence for me from a moral perspective because being in the kind of arts field, the whole idea of computers making music is scary to me. But it's just kind of beautiful, too. It kind of almost brought a tear to my eye, I got to say. Minnie down in Texas, one of our regular listeners, youtube.com/@1210WPHT, a commenter on there, she used a service called Suno. And Suno is an AI service where you enter a prompt, and it's a 200-word prompt. And she essentially said, Dom Giordano, Philadelphia radio, Texas, she wanted in there, producers, Henry Dan. And AI completely generated a song. And here's the debut of that song, presenting Talking with Dom, given to us by Minnie and AI. Take a listen.
Very Texas.
It is, but I love it.
Dom lights up the room with his smile, keeping us laughing for a while. He's got that charm and he knows it well. Every story he's got to tell.
This is a computer singing, Dom.
I can't tell if it's male or female here. What do you say?
They.
Okay.
Pennsylvania, New Jersey, shouting lines. In Texas too, the love does grow. Tune in close and feel
Better than Springsteen.
Might be, actually.
Maybe you'll endorse Trump.
Dom's the best host you could ever hear.
How does Minnie know how to do
Dan and
this?
Henry making magic near. They got the vibe that we all crave, playing tunes that elevate.
So it's kind of cool you can do something like this, right?
Might have to put that in as the theme song since some maniac out there doesn't like my theme music at the beginning, which I certainly do. Minnie, thank you. What a gift of her goodwill and the artistry, Dan, of the stuff that she does. Is it that easy to do this?
It's crazy to me. That's the fact. Like going to AI and how scary it is. We're talking something that should take emotion, art, that kind of thing, and bring an emotion like this just from a 200-word prompt is where we're at.
Where it's come, AI's gone in the last 2 years is scary.
Yeah,
it's gone so fast.
And like the music's good. Like there's even a solo here. I want you to listen to the solo, and then there's a breakdown, and it kind of gets even more emotion. Take a listen.
Friday Night Lights.
Sounds like it.
Listeners know they truly care. From Philly streets to Houston air, they're the heartbeats of our day. Keep those blues from staying gray.
Amazing. And the guy we have coming up sees real danger here. This came up because of the longshoremen and automation this week. And I have one that brings it all down home. And I know Henry's in agreement with me. Not sure about Dan and you. This movement, and it could happen in a year or two, right? I know they're trying it out, to have computers actually umpire Major League Baseball. Stunning.
I like what they're doing in the minor leagues with that, where you can challenge a call, I think, twice a game.
Right.
And it has to be immediate. Like, you can't look to the like a ball or strike call. You can't look to the dugout and go, should I challenge that? You have to know immediately, and you have to point and be like, hey, I want to challenge that right now. So I think that's where it's going to be first, and hopefully that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's actually a good idea, but yeah, no, I don't want any umpires.
Part of the game is
strikes.
knowing the art of how to work the ump, what he's calling that day, how to work him, and psychologically how to work a referee or an umpire.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So, no, I'm against it. Dan, you against it?
I'm not against innovation, Dom. Progress, innovation.
Progress. Man, Dan will have everybody in the world.
You're the guy pouring the water out on the fire because we can't progress past fire.
Oh, conservative lecture again. All right. We're going to talk with Garrison Lovely, who wrote this piece, Laws Need to Catch Up to Artificial Intelligence's Unique Risk. And the longshoreman made sort of a point this week. Are we going to go down that path? That's AI, Dan. Nice illustration there. Many thank you, too. We'll talk next. And Dom's Money Melody. Maybe Scott Presler with a little update, too.
He is confirmed, yeah.
He's confirmed. We want to give him his kudos today for what he did. And, Dan, while you were away, Henry tells me that Al Schmidt's office got back to him. The Secretary of State, we said, okay, he can't come on before the election, up to the election. I immediately said, okay, what about the day after the election? Henry, what was the response?
Yeah, so in the response to that, it was simply, hey, Henry, the secretary won't be available at that time.
Okay.
How do you know that?
Now, if we want to continue with this, I'm thinking about it. I don't want to be accused of harassing the guy, although I'm a media type and I'm just asking him. I would just, my next thing, I may send it to him myself. Please tell us when he will be available.
All right.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the next logical follow-up.
That is. You know what? We ought to ask AI to send a treaty to Al Schmidt to see if he'll come on.
We can do that.
Big 2 o'clock hour. No, don't do that. That might be problematic.
You are able to, get these kind of problems.
855.
Write me an essay to Al Schmidt about coming on the Dom Giordano.
855-839-1210.
Following is a paid commercial message.
Bob Casey supported radical sanctuary city policies, and Casey said,
I want to be held accountable if something that doesn't work out well.
Casey's sanctuary city policies haven't worked out well. They release dangerous illegal immigrants onto our streets. In fact, Casey's sanctuary city policies released one illegal immigrant felon in Philadelphia who then raped a 5-year-old Pennsylvania girl. Casey made us all less safe. Casey not only supports these crazy policies that put convicted felons back on our streets, he'd make things even worse. Casey voted to give illegals with violent criminal records amnesty. Casey supported amnesty even for illegals convicted of domestic violence and child abuse. Rewarding illegals convicted of domestic violence and child abuse? It's insane.
I want to be held accountable.
It's time to hold Casey accountable. It's time for a change. It's time to fire Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-291-3183. That's 800-291-3183. 800-291-3183.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Dom's the best toast you could ever hear. Dan and Henry making magic near.
Henry making magic. Oh, my God. Now, Dom Giordano's show, we just debuted.
I like this robot. Good robot.
We just debuted this song, and we have a guest on, big time, writing in the New York Times, laws need to catch up to artificial intelligence's unique risk. That's artificial, that's AI, that created that song through a listener. Joining us is Garrison Lovely, who wrote this piece in the New York Times. Let's go to Garrison, who I believe is in Greece, and this is by Google phone. Oh, man, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
Hey, Garrison, how is Greece?
It's fantastic. I'm hoping that this call won't drop, but really happy to be calling in.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And it was very timely when we saw your piece on this, what Newsom did recently. Your piece appeared September 29th. The longshoremen have, in my mind, I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you're following this since you're in Greece, this automation thing and the fear of it, it's a serious, serious thing. They were ridiculous in saying we shouldn't have easy pass. So I wanted to ask you overall, since you draw the line here certainly with artificial intelligence, is there a place for artificial intelligence that you think is within boundaries, both of we don't have to worry of some kind of catastrophe and or it's not going to disrupt livelihoods of people?
And we already here we go.
All right.
We have him back. We have him back there. Let's see if we can get that.
Yeah. Garrison.
Thanks for asking the question.
Yeah, the question was, again, you're drawing a good line here, certainly, with the dangers of this. With artificial intelligence or more automation, I'm putting the two things together. What's the line, in your view, where there's social benefit without potential catastrophe? And, you know, what's happening to these longshoremen, I think, is a serious thing, but it's also a sign of progress. Where do you come down?
Yeah, it's a really difficult question. I think it's, for me, more about the process, right? So OpenAI, for example, is trying to build artificial general intelligence, which in their...
Wow, this is crazy. He's on Google phone. They keep dropping and trying to talk about AI.
Yeah, that's right. It's a conspiracy here.
So calling in from Greece, he said that he had some dropping issues, and this might be something that happens. Do you want to try one more time? Or
Yeah,
you
try
want to
one
it
more
next
time.
week? Okay.
Yeah, or we may have to reschedule with him. Yeah, let's try one more time. There he is.
Yeah. And where I kind of draw the line, we have Garrison back now, myself, is I look at it and I'm like, if a thing's thinking, right, if it's offering that artificial intelligence, a car is thinking, it has to decide whether or not it's going to run over somebody. That's where I kind of draw my line societally, but the kind of checkout lines and such, I'm okay with. Garrison?
Yeah, I just switched to a hotspot. We'll see if this works, but if it drops, we'll have to do this another time. I think it's more about, like, in my view, having people be involved in the process of deciding where to draw that line, right? Right now, you have a bunch of tech startups that are not really accountable to anybody, truly, deciding to build something that has massive implications for everybody on the planet, potentially. And I really just want there to be more democratic input into what types of AI systems get built, what are the safeguards that have to be in place to build those systems and deploy them. And then when it comes to automation, like, I feel for everybody who is worried about their job. And I think back to this profile of Sam Altman in 2015, where he's kind of like, if I were not in this position building AI, I'd be like, why do they get to decide? Like, what gives them the right to do this? And in 2024, I'm kind of thinking the same question.
Here's an example, Garrison, too. Our Philadelphia Inquirer reporting today, AI is starting to disrupt white-collar jobs. You know, when that happens, when people are undercut in the labor market, and it's not, it's a blue-collar job, it's something with a lot of people, there's not a lot of sympathy. But now you disrupt white-collar jobs. You disrupt things that are artistic, for example. You would think people are going to be engaged in this. They seem to be unaware it's coming.
Yeah. I think of this tweet that I saw, which is, I used to think the robots would do my dishes so I could make art, but now the robots are making art and I still have to do my dishes.
Exactly right. So do you see this then, the issue of somehow or another having input on this? How do you see that happening, though? Would it be governmental?
Yeah, I think I'm in favor broadly of regulating the industry, just like basically any other industry that could have effects that spill over beyond its borders. I think the main issue with that is that the industry does not want to be regulated, right? California nearly had this law that would have these pretty light touch regulations in place on the largest AI developers. And after very intense lobbying, the governor, Gavin Newsom, vetoed the bill. And I think that's a place to start. I think something that's been interesting too has been just the amount of labor power on display by the workers at these AI companies. When Sam Altman was reinstated, it was in no small part because there was like mutiny among the workers. And with this California bill, over 110 current and former employees of these companies signed a letter in favor of the bill. And then finally, I wrote in favor of whistleblower protections. I think having people be able to come forward and go to Congress or go to a special investigator if they see evidence of risky behavior that may not be presently illegal, but because AI is so new, it can still be dangerous without being illegal. Giving people those protections would let us know if something's going wrong.
My antenna go up when you have a guy, and it's not exactly artificial intelligence, but the concept is the same, like Bill Gates. He comes on a show, and he's talking about getting scientists with him that will try to do a process to dampen the sun around climate control. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. There can't be any dampening of the sun here. We can't be fooling around like this. So I would think in the AI field, it's even easier to be engaged in things that might deal with nuclear power plants, with infrastructure, with the grid, right?
Yeah. I mean, the ambition within artificial intelligence for as long as the field has existed has been to build machines that can think like humans can. And there's good reason to believe that if you actually manage to do that, they would be able to think a lot faster and be up a lot more than humans can. So within OpenAI, there's a lot of people talking about the project is like building God, right? So this is an extremely ambitious and, many people might say foolhardy endeavor. And it's, very tantalizing, but it's also something where, it could have effects on everybody alive, which many of these same people have acknowledged.
We're talking with Garrison Lovely. And Garrison, to that point, we even talked, the Phillies here, Philadelphia Phillies are playing the Mets tomorrow, big game in town. They're fooling around with even umpires being replaced by computers. The umpire would still stand there, but the computer is making decisions. And this reliance, the point you made about the dishes and the art, you're taking away, even in small dosages, humanity here somewhat, and wanting to make us more mechanical.
Yeah. I mean, a vision of how this could happen that I think is under-discussed is not necessarily that there will be like one big moment where AI takes over the world. I think that's possible, right? But I think what you could also see is just very small moments where we cede autonomy and we cede responsibility to AI systems because it's cheaper, it's more effective in some way, or it's believed to be more effective. And then bit by bit, in a competitive market, people do this and it's rational each time maybe. But then suddenly we find ourselves not in control of our own future.
Yeah, absolutely. Garrison, where do we find you on Twitter or someplace else? Where do we go to find you?
Yeah, I'm at Garrison Lovely on Twitter. That's just my full name is my handle. And then I have a Substack, which is just garrisonlovely.substack.com.
Is your area of expertise mainly artificial intelligence, or is it issues around, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm writing a book on artificial intelligence with the working title Obsolete, Power, Profit, and the Race for Machine Superintelligence.
Could you work into that, one of my favorite Twilight Zones, where they tell the guy, you're obsolete? I don't know if you've seen that one. If you Google it, you'll see what I mean.
No.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, Dan, you could pull that up. The most thing, it's a fascist type of system, and obsolete, when they say that to you, they all start chanting.
Disgrace the state, you have proven yourself a coward. You have therefore no function. You are obsolete.
But I'm not obsolete.
You are obsolete.
Make sure you work that into the book. I mean, Dan, I know how you found it that quickly. It's a great Twilight Zone. Hey, Garrison, hope to talk with you more. Enjoy Greece, and great stuff here. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you. This has been fun. Thanks.
All right, Garrison Lovely here. Dan, that is, a lot of Twilight Zones are the same thing, but that is a really good one.
Yeah. What's your all-time fave?
Let me think. I forget the title of it. It's where everybody is pig-faced, and they're going after the people that are beautiful.
And then the turn.
Yeah, the turn, the pivot point.
It's great.
You go 20 minutes till you get to the pivot point. That's a very good one.
How about the eyeglasses one?
Where the guy now can read, and the eyeglasses broken. Yes. Very good one.
Did you watch the reboot with Jordan Peele when he rebooted it for...
I did not.
Oh, it's terrible. It's bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
DJ texted me, and he knows me as well as you, my antagonism toward Bill Gates. That Bill Gates now is not among the top 10 billionaires. It's just out today in the world. I don't know where he ranks.
There's no way that's true.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Let me.
Does this count the Gates Foundation? Like their
I don't know
entitlements?
how much he's given away here. The particulars. I'm trying to. He texted it to me.
Yeah.
If I can find it here.
I thought he was like among the top 3.
Bill Gates no longer among the 10th wealthiest. This is from Fox Business in the world. Forbes has pegged his net worth at $107 billion, putting him at number 12. I don't know if Elon Musk is number 1 or not.
No, I don't think he's anywhere close to the top 10.
I thought he was.
Really?
But yeah, if you're out at $107 billion, I'll have to get the full list.
Yeah.
But he is reputedly wanting to fool around with dampening the effect of the sun to deal with climate.
Huh.
I mean, stop this guy.
They already did that in The Simpsons. Like it's.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Side question today. Somebody that deserves their reputation or something is what we're looking for. Dr. Don in Springhouse. Dr. Don, who's yours?
Hi, mine is Fauci, Dr. Fauci. He's a grandstander and a fraud. As you know, I told you I worked with him in the 80s. And,
that's right.
He was okay then, but he had the gross lie in 2000 about not needing masks, which turned out to be a massive lie and the start of his nonsense. So he's my vote for today.
That is a good one. You got the judges. Springsteen's already. Dan took that one off the board. So
I was wrong as hell.
Yeah.
Man, with Elon. Elon's number 1.
Should I save this? It's like a delicious treat. No, I must eat it now. Let's go to Joe of Exton.
Oh man, yes.
I think it's a good one. Let's go to Joe of Exton. Hey, Joe. Good afternoon.
Yes. Hello, Dom, and good afternoon. Regarding reputation in Italy, the people of Italy enjoy a reputation of being a highly artistic peoples. They've produced paintings, statuary, and buildings of great historical significance.
That is an excellent one. And, Joe, are you a graduate of the University of Florence?
No, I didn't graduate. No, I did attend it for a while.
See, I remember that. Yeah.
You guys have that in common, too.
Yeah, exactly.
You law school dropout over there.
Joe, that is a brilliant one. Italians certainly deserve that, our reputation. All right, Richie.
Hold on.
Concur with that.
You know when you saw Italians on the board, you did not think he was going to do the artistic nature
Oh, yeah, I thought he was. Sure,
native
Joe
Italian.
of Exton, he's not going to say mob and all that stuff. No,
I thought he was going with it when I saw it on there.
No. Also, the reputation.
And I wasn't going to go with mob. I was just going to go with like open shirt, gold chain.
Well,
hairy
for those, for those watching on YouTube, we don't deserve that reputation for talking with our hands a lot, or that I constantly do that.
All you ever do is talk with your hands.
You know, I just made a note to myself. Would it be funny in here? You know how my jeans wear out every 6 months? It's because in the back and forth of this, it's rubbing around the knees. It's a constant.
Yeah.
I don't know what Rich would say, his thing you can't help when you do this job.
Just be a
some
shorts
kind
guy.
of thing that you do, huh?
Just be a shorts guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the
Rub
middle
through
of
his
winter.
skin there.
There's skin there. Oh,
Down
my
to the
God.
bone.
Yes. So I was thinking putting a towel on either side of it. If you happen to see that in the future, I got to preserve these jeans. They wear out too quickly.
Can I get you like some ripped jeans?
No. All right.
Just like a teenager in 2003.
We found another picture at home, though. Ro has another one. Not my David Cassidy. It's Ro and I on this swing set when we were first dating or getting married.
And why is it not on Twitter yet?
Yeah, well, I have to bring it in. I have to get permission from her, yes, to bring it in.
You cut her out.
That's true, too. It doesn't matter in this. 855.
I am 100. I love you, Ro. You're amazing.
855-839-1210. Right now, though, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
All right, today we're playing for a pair of tickets to A Night on the Bayou, celebrating Creedence Clearwater Revival on October 11th at the Zlock Performing Arts Center on the campus of Bucks County Community College. It's a great spot. We do a lot of events there. Great bar, and the people even better. Dan, what do you have?
Yeah, Dom, so today in Today History, there was an SNL where John Belushi mocked, for a while he was mocking a guy, and then finally today in History, they joined together and performed on stage. Not going to play the very popular song that they performed together. I'm going to play a cover by this person who was being mocked by John Belushi, joining him on SNL on stage, Dom, on this day in history. So, Dom, we want to know the cover artist of this great song, and this is a guy that you love. I think our entire audience loves. Very, very recognizable voice, and how it relates to the side question, Dom. Earned a reputation as one of the best voices, one of the most recognizable voices of all time. Take a listen. I want to turn it down, though. I want to keep it going.
All right, 855-839-1210. Who's covering that? Belushi's greatest scene, I thought, was Cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't think it just...
I was talking to a kid who's like 24, and maybe Henry can attest to this, but
yeah.
like SNL's fallen so far out of cultural habit that like it's like, oh yeah, my mom watches that, and that's really all it is anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I have no interest in watching it anymore.
Do you know references to SNL?
Yeah, maybe some 2000s, 2010s clips, but like
because I had a friend, he was saying it's just so corny, he doesn't even care to like check out the history. He's just like, yeah, it's something my mom likes. It's like
I watched it last week. I thought politically they were pretty balanced, and Gaffigan was a good Walls.
He's got a lot to do to repair their reputation.
Oh yeah, yeah, but I didn't think politically they were bad last week, you know. But it's the skits aren't that good. No. There's nothing.
I like
amazing.
Weekend Update still.
Yeah,
with Jost and Che.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny with the whole hippo thing that they did this last week. But you have to like be in on the internet meme culture to really get
Mudang.
it. Yeah.
Mudang mocking Chapel Roan.
Yeah.
All right, it's 855-839-1210. You jump in. You're going off to the Zlock, and more calls coming up on Talk Radio 1210.
I do think it's badass that Andrew Jackson beat a would-be assassin with a cane. I think that is the coolest thing. I mean, come on. Guy takes 2 shots at him, the gun misfires both times, and he's like, that's it. Like, I wish to God there were cameras back then to capture Andrew Jackson pummeling this guy with a cane.
It wasn't even his cane. He took it from another guy. He was that upset.
Give me that cane. Starts beating the crap out of the guy. Oh, man. That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Rich Zioli, weekday afternoons, 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows, and you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Are you looking to remodel your home?
Emmons Remodeling offers complete remodeling services to turn your house into your dream home.
With quality craftsmanship and attention to every detail, Emmons designers and construction experts can handle all of your remodeling needs from kitchens to baths to basements and additions.
Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
I'm John Oran, Puck's sports correspondent, and I have a new podcast called The Varsity, where I will take you inside the executive suites and owners' boxes that run the entire sports business. Twice a week, I will bring on the smartest people I know to break down the hottest topics in sports media and give you a window into the inside conversations that are happening throughout sports media. So be sure to follow and listen to The Varsity Podcast, available now on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me the money.
Okay, today playing for a pair of tickets to the Zlock Performing Arts Center. Let's hear the clue.
She said there is no reason. The truth is plain to see.
Don, we're looking for the cover artist who today in 1976 performed with John Belushi on Saturday Night Live because John was not mocking him but satirizing him for a while. Here covering A Whiter Shade of Pale, wanted the cover artist of this song.
Jim in Levittown. Jim, who's covering this song? Hi.
Joe Cocker.
All right, nicely played. Yeah, he was easy to satirize. Rose saw him at upstate Pennsylvania when he was first just breaking out and still raves about it. The name of the college.
Was it you or Joe, or you or Roe that has more of the Joe Cocker appreciation?
Yeah, Roe. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's distinct. Yeah, without a doubt.
Definitely earned the reputation as a distinct voice.
Oh,
here's John Belushi from the SNL performing as Joe Cocker alongside Joe Cocker. Not enough time to get back to Joe Cocker, but it's pretty good. His impression. Take a listen.
Oh, you sure took me for a big ride. Even now, I wanna ride. When I think of you, I stop myself a cry. I just can't waste my time.
Watching just really makes me yearn for those days.
That's Blues Brothers type of stuff. I never had Belushi on, but I've had Dan Aykroyd on twice. And he started doing the bit, the craziness of things just go off. Brilliant also. But Belushi was the real, Chevy Chase in the beginning was too.
Yeah, he was.
Part of it.
Chevy, apparently.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's sad what they've done with it. They made it overly political, one-sided, but also just lost any kind of punch or that they're relevant. Now, are they going to bring on, I'm not sure if they're going to bring on Harris or Trump, if Trump would go on at this point. He hosted at least once, if not twice. The one time they had relevance is when they brought Palin in and the whole thing associated with that. She did pretty well.
I feel like they lose a lot of their audience if they actually bring Trump on. It's like, oh, you're endorsing Trump. Oh,
yeah. I don't see Harris being able to pull this off. She'd just start cackling and then the bit would be gone. It's got to be, if you're not like Elon Musk, I thought did a good job of the monologue. He was very good. He wasn't, crazed as he usually is. Oh, yeah, but I mean, that's what he is. Yeah, exactly. So what are we going to get with Elon Musk in Butler on Saturday night? Oh, my God. Scott Prezzer will be here. He'll be there in Butler. We wanted to give him a shout-out, though, because he helped, along with a couple of other people, to stop the nonsense that was going on with the state of Pennsylvania. By the way, if you ever see this guy on Fox, I follow him on Twitter and Washington Examiner. Really, really good reporter. Byron York puts up on Twitter today entirely different incidents, but the Doug Emhoff forcefully slapped ex-girlfriend in 2012 story appears to have a higher level of proof than the E. Jean Carroll Trump accusation. According to Daily Mail, women told two friends at the time. Friends confirm, told a third person in 2018. That person confirms too. Documents confirm Emhoff and the woman were in that place at the time together. That is a stronger case than Carroll's. In the Emhoff matter, the alleged incident was 12 years ago. Carroll made her accusation about Trump 25 years after the alleged incident, which she had a book to sell at that point. Have to assume statute of limitations is passed in the Emhoff matter. It had in the Trump-Carroll case too. But New York law allowed Trump to be sued, of course, under a special exception. On little evidence, the jury found Trump liable for sexual abuse, ordered him to pay $2 million, another $85 million or so for defamation. That's a nice breakdown of where we are with Emhoff. Now, you could argue the other difference is, look, Emhoff is not running for president. Trump was running and is running for president. Okay, I get that. But here's the thing. Emhoff and Walz are out there very publicly, and they're being said to be the new masculinity. So even though he's not running for president, he's a pivotal figure, arguably, in this whole thing. And the way this is being treated by the media, Byron York laid it out there. There's a lot more evidence of this to run down than there was in the Carroll case. But we know the double standard in this, so that really doesn't matter. Now, what would it matter if Emhoff did this and it highlights impregnating the nanny? Well, it doesn't necessarily cut toward Harris, but what it cuts toward is being forced to endure hearing the goofball Walz and Emhoff are what men should be, and it bounces back toward Trump. Toxic masculinity. All right? That's the significance. The broader significance is the media doesn't want to cover any of this stuff, and they won't. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Coming up, Scott Presler. And we wanted to get Scott back on. There's a couple of updates, but he called attention to the fact that the State Department, Al Schmidt, I wonder if Scott Presler asked Al Schmidt to come on, Henry, if he would.
Oh, man.
Because now Al Schmidt is turned down coming on after the election. He can't come on before. He can't come on the day of the election. He can't come on after the election.
Scott will have to be our ringer.
Exactly.
Got to bring him in.
Who is it that I know that can get him to come on this show? I'm trying to think. Dan and Henry are striking out. Do I have to go to DJ on this?
Yeah, you just need someone relentless, a lion.
No, that might backfire.
Well,
I might have to call Roe.
He's got the mane of a lion. So
Roe can write him and say, look, my husband's not that bad. Come on now. We'll try that approach. Okay?
Al Schmidt, come on the show, please.
Who do I know that
got
knows
a very fair
Al
interview
Schmidt?
here.
Yeah, we want to hear Al. We want to hear.
We should do some reverse psychology.
Yeah,
we don't want you anyway.
Stuff like,
Al,
how does it work? Did Al Schmidt know about this? They were going to do maintenance during the Trump rally tomorrow night. Don't you think somebody there ought to run this past Al Schmidt and the others and say, yo, you got to be really careful here. All right, Scott Presler is next, and we'll talk with him about a couple of developments. He'll be in Butler tomorrow night. I don't know if Scott Presler has met Elon Musk or not. And by the way, Scott's not speaking tomorrow night. He's the first guy I would bring
Hold
up
on, he's
there.
not, yeah, what?
Yeah, not that I know of. By the way, on Twitter, people saying that Troy Polamalu should be out for the hair commercials. It ought to be Scott Presler.
It should be.
Yeah, that would sell a lot more shampoo. I'll find out what shampoo he uses. Mine is Shampoo. It's an imported
That
shampoo.
sounds like something you get at like Dollar General.
No. This is a fancy salon in Chestnut Hill.
No.
Okay. Now's a great time to call and visit your nearest Captain Chucky's. Let them handle your meal planning. The fan favorite always remember at Captain Chucky's is the Smith Island crab cake jumbo lump. And don't forget the mega colossal crab cakes. October, time to stock up. Check out the variety of homemade soups. The far away we kid about, I think, is still there. The Maryland crab is the one. I'll be getting it tomorrow over in Flowertown every week. I don't think I missed in the last 7 or 8 years. And it's a perfect time to check out all of Captain Chucky's other offerings. homemade sides, desserts. Get a few for that football viewing party or tailgate or the Phillies tomorrow. Several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody. Desserts, key lime pie, appetizers, all highest in quality ingredients. Watching the Phillies tomorrow, it starts at 4 o'clock. How about some Gulf shrimp? If you have people, that's always a huge hit, and it's always wild caught, never farm raised. Get the Dom roll. Yep, I'm so proud to have that Dom roll.
Farfalle.
Thank you very much. There's a location near you. I know that. If you go to WeLoveCrabCakes.com, you'll see the nearest location. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Headed to the Jersey Shore, Captain Chucky's at the shore.com.
Farfalle. Do not say farfalli, but rather farfalle.
We'll expect a beautiful weekend of weather and good weather for baseball. Today, 77 degrees with some clouds and maybe a shower overnight. Tomorrow, turning sunny and pleasant with a high of 79. 76 for Sunday, mostly sunny and beautiful.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
The leaves are changing color, the air is crisp, and it's the perfect time to fall into savings on a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. Take advantage of these incredible offers. A 2025 XC40 for only $435 per month on a 36-month lease. A 2024 C40 for only $329 per month on a 36-month lease. Or get 3.99% financing on select new Volvos for 72 months. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Yeah, that fits Scott Presler. That's the theme music rolling down the highways. He joins us here in Philadelphia again on Talk Radio 1210. Well, Scott, welcome in. Wanted to have you back to congratulate you. This nonsense with Al Schmidt and this maintenance of the State Department website is now gone.
Thank you. Well, we are just racking up the W's here at earlyvoteaction.com. And I know some people, may have thought it was conspiratorial to even point out that the maintenance was being done during the Trump rally that is going to bring nationwide attention, during the rally that Elon Musk is going to also be attending. But we brought so much attention to the issue that I do want to give credit and say thank you to the Pennsylvania Department of State for changing the time. And it went from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. to now 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. I'm still not 100% happy, but I will give credit where credit is due, and I promise you that them changing the site maintenance is going to bring more users to the website, and I hope more thousands of people register to vote tomorrow during President Trump's rally.
Absolutely. Scott, I would have...
Can I just interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
You hear that, Mr. Schmidt? We bring a guest on. The first thing he does is compliment you.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
fair.
You may want to use your influence. Al Schmidt, who I know, even came to my Feast of the Seven Fishes. It was a comp, Dan, if you remember. Back when he was here in Philadelphia, Scott has told us he can't come on before the election. So we said, okay, day after. And they said, Mr. Schmidt will not be available then. So we're going to ask, when is he available? What do you think?
You know, I'm focused entirely on Tuesday, November 5th. The only thing that we demand is, look, Mr. Schmidt, the Luzerne County Board of Elections is backlogged by thousands of voter registrations. If you're listening to this right now, please, for the sake of our constitutional republic, or as y'all say, democracy, it is unfathomable that swing counties in Pennsylvania would have thousands of backlog voter registrations, knowing that the last day to register to vote is on October 21st, and knowing that the last day to request a mail-in ballot is on the 29th. If you take seriously the ability of empowering people to register to vote and vote this November, then I encourage you to make it mandatory over time that the Luzerne County Board of Elections should not be spending money on boulders for quote-unquote election and security, but they should be spending money on more staffers to process the outstanding thousands of backlog voter registrations and mail-in ballots, sir.
Yes, without a doubt. And Scott, when we first did a watch with you, we were looking at Bucks County. When you flipped that red, Bucks went from 2% blue to Republicans at 0.5% now. But others had even a bigger turnaround that you were involved in. For example, Beaver was +6 Democrat to Republican now, +2.5. Berks, 2.1 Dem to Republican 2.5.
This is huge.
Fayette, 6.5 to Republican 9.2.
Wow.
You know, we are making such strides across the Commonwealth. It's really exciting to see. And, you know, in the last year, we did flip Beaver, we did flip Bucks, we did flip Luzerne. But here's kind of the magic that's going on. We have a couple exciting events. On the 12th, we're doing a block party in Reading, Pennsylvania, in Berks County. We are engaging with our beautiful Puerto Rican and Dominican voters. At Early Vote Action, we have hired 2 bilingual Spanish and English-speaking staff that are dedicated just to reaching out to this community. And so anybody in the Reading area, I look forward to seeing you on the 12th. I'm going to have more details at Scott Pressler on my X account. And on the 13th, I do believe this is breaking news, that we are having a day of unity, a rally of unity at the Newtown Athletic Club in Bucks County. And I do believe that Tim Pool said he's going to come. And you're going to have the RFK Jr. Supporters. You're going to have Black Americans for Trump. You're going to have the Log Cabin Republicans. Like, literally, this is every force coming together, knowing that our country is on the line in Bucks County on the 13th.
Wait a minute. What time will that be? Do you know, Scott?
Let's follow up when I tell you guys the new voter registration data on Monday.
All right, we're texting Jim Worthington as we're talking here. So it's going to who is it that is one? You're one of the headliners, but who else is going to be there?
I do believe Tim Pool is going to be there. Ellen Cox. We're going to have speakers from the RFK Jr. campaign. I hear that we're actually working on an even bigger headliner than myself. And this is going to be all forces coming together, MAGA plus MAHA, make America great and make America healthy again.
Oh, my goodness. All right. And Jim Worthington right in the center of that, too, along with you. Scott, I hope to get over there and interview some of these people, but congratulations on that. Thanks for telling us about that. We'll have more details, hopefully, next week. And I'm sure the president is going to say Scott Pressler is in the house tonight at Butler. He's got him.
Well, regardless, we are there to support our president. He took a bullet for us, and we're going to have his back by getting every single person there at that rally registered to vote at their current address. And we're going to make sure that everybody is checking their voter registration status. Speaking of, we'll end on a final note that everybody listening right now to the Dom Giordano Show, please check your voter registration status. Type into the internet, Pennsylvania, check voter status. Make sure you're an active voter registered at your current address, and please make a plan to vote this November or earlier.
Absolutely. And Scott, what's the best place to go for all things Scott Presler?
All things Scott Presler, go to my X account at Scott Presler, SCOTTPRES 1SLER. Slide in my DMs, and you can also support our work at earlyvoteaction.com. That's earlyvoteaction.com.
Great stuff, Scott. Thank you. Thanks so much, as always, here.
Thank you, Dom.
All right. And Dan, we thought we'd get him on. It was the right thing. He's the architect of this big thing with the maintenance and all that. And here he drops October 13th. Mark that one down. We'll get Jim Worthington on Monday to give us more details on that. RFK coming together with the Trump people. I don't know if RFK Jr. will be there, but I hope he'll make it over. That is good stuff. I think AI, I think Scott Presler is really AI created. This can't be a human.
He's a robot.
Engaged in this
when
stuff.
does this guy sleep?
Yeah, it is stunning. And G already said now they have 2 bilingual people to be working with the Latino community.
That's great.
The Republican Party should just give this guy $100 million and let him win Pennsylvania. $10 million even. Okay, lightning round is next. Let me take the Earl of Tacony here, though. He's got a couple things, and then we'll get to the lightning round. Hey, Earl, good afternoon.
Afternoon. You mentioned the naked cowboy. He was at January 6th. I did see him. I took a picture of him while he was walking around in the cold weather. But I'm sick and tired of everybody talking about January 6th. I have to wonder when Trump wins, not if, but when. Will they reactivate Disrupt J20, where Hillary supporters went and burned Washington, D.C. because they lost the election? Everyone seems to have forgotten that. You know, the city burned. They burned limos, they broke windows, and they rioted because Trump won, yet everyone talks about January 6th.
Yeah, during the inauguration, we covered it from Chicky and Pete's, and we were having crab fries while watching that destruction. Yeah.
But what do I know? I'm just a working class guy. I'm going to be with Bruce Springsteen this weekend. We're going to fly in his private helicopter to Martha's Vineyard to hang out with Barack and Michelle Obama and have some cheap fast food, some $500 steaks from the restaurant. I mean,
okay. All right, Earl. Who is it that deserves their reputation?
I'm just going to have to nominate myself.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I at? 2290 day? Something like that. So, because Dan said that it proves that I'm committed, or I should be committed. I wasn't quite sure how he put that through.
Thank you, Earl. Dan, the race for Core of the Year this year is going to be more intense than the Person of the Year even. It's taken on, now it's the encounters are counting out there.
Have a Larry Krasner Christmas.
Oh, there's that
it's
too,
the best
yes.
time in the land. You can steal whatever you feel if it's under $1,000. Have a Larry
By the way, did you notice that the Larry Krasner of the West Coast, Gascon, is poised to get the Menendez brothers out?
Oh, really?
Due to
That's burned
Netflix,
off of
apparently,
Netflix,
yes.
yeah.
I mean, the rapport, the father, the whole thing. The Menendez brothers. Does it ever end? I think it's going to happen. All right.
Just for those that are unaware, the person singing there is Earl,
yes.
joined by the Taconis. The Earl and the Taconis. The Christmas album available anywhere our podcast can be found. Search Earl and the Taconis.
We'll have a new one this year. They ought to, the session to tape it should be at Mulligan's, I would think, though.
We've been trying to, man. I've been busy. He really wants to get in the studio.
Okay.
He's got like a bunch written up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lightning round is next.
Another Noel, except a police will say. It seems someone just got stabbed on a platform today.
Earl, come on.
All right. 855-839-1210. Lightning round next. Again, a winner and the winner of the week here, too, on Talk Radio 1210.
Like they're asleep in a pool of their blood in Philly life.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The Dock Workers Union returns to the negotiating table and suspends its strike until January 15th. The SS United States was burglarized days after a tentative deal was struck to turn it into an artificial reef, and the NLDS begins tomorrow at the Bank, the Phillies' first ever postseason tilt against the Mets.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio, now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at the Media Theater in Media, Saturday, November 16th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Is your car still under warranty? No, not anymore. My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care. Ox Car Care? Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-224-8517. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-224-8517. 800-224-8517. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
Dom Giordano. Weekdays, noon till 3. On Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
The lightning round is sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, lease a 2025 XC40 for only $435 per month for 36 months. See store for details. They always go the extra mile for their customers because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. All right, let's go to... let's see here. Let's go to Bill in Bucks County on Talk Radio. Oh, Drew in Upper Darby's got one. Hey, Drew, good afternoon. Who's yours today?
Hey, Dom, thanks a lot, man. Dom, real quick, I heard the talk yesterday, and some of these crazed union guys, I call union deranged syndrome, man. Well, it's crazy how they get. I had a buddy who owned a bar in the Botwood section of Upper Darby. It still had the ladies' entrance. And instead of buying an ice machine, he would have a block of ice delivered every morning because he thought he was saving jobs. It's crazy.
I hear you. I always like the ladies' entrance. That's what you got to have,
yes.
Without a doubt. All right, Drew.
Thanks, Tom.
Who deserves their reputation?
These guys definitely earn their reputation. The Broad Street Bullies. Thank you both.
That's a pretty good one. Joe Watson. I've never had a handshake quite like that, guys. My God. Bill in Bucks County. Bill, who earned their reputation?
Well, I think the guy that was the mayor of Carmel City, California, played in Sudden Impact, and his famous phrase was, "Go ahead, make my day." Clint Eastwood.
That's a very good one.
I don't know if there's more tough guy that deserves it than Clint Eastwood.
Oh, you don't think there is?
No, I'm saying I think he deserves the reputation of that kind of tough, gruff guy. I don't know if there's someone that plays it better.
Get off my lawn.
Oh, wow, we got an impression over
Gran Torino. Alan in Hamilton. Who's yours, Alan?
Donkey's plays the best
cheesesteak in the Delaware Valley, 3 generations old, according to the Lucas family.
I don't know.
I've heard of that place.
It's kind of weird, though.
Yeah.
It's like on a Kaiser roll. It's different than a normal cheesesteak.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've heard of that, though.
It's almost like a
It
breakfast
is legendary,
sandwich.
and
It's
it was
good.
in a sitcom here, too. Yeah, local. Bruce in the Northeast. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Dom. When you think of these guys, you can't help but think of their badass reputation, and that would be the Hells Angels.
It would seem that they've earned that. Yeah, they should have. I like this one. I don't know if it's big enough to be the winner, but it's true. Chris in Burlington, who's yours?
Good afternoon. Real quick, I want to say yesterday Joe from Columbus made a point to say he wasn't padding his numbers. I am actually padding my numbers today because this is my second call ever.
Keep it up, Chris.
But my submission is A-Rod. And I'll tell you why. I mean, there's a 5-tool player, a natural-born 5-tool player that basically ruined his legacy. Not only once when he was caught, he ruined it the second time. He apologized to his team in the world, and then he got involved again in steroids. So I just think he's forever going to be known as a cheater, no matter how good we say of what a baseball player he was.
Thank you, Alex. That is a very good one. All right, Henry, who do you like today? A couple of contenders.
Yeah, I thought Gary in Newtown led off the show, the great one,
Right.
the DMV. And I also like Drew in Upper Darby's answer, the Broad Street Bullies, because that still rings out today. Everyone knows who that is.
I like Drew's, too. What do you say, Dan?
I like the DMV a lot, and I also like Joe Exton's positive reputation for Italians, where I thought he was going negative.
That's a trick, yeah.
Where you going, Don?
I go with Broad Street Bullies.
All right, Drew and
Yeah,
Upper Darby.
put that into the hat, and let's get a winner.
Let me get my music going, Dom. Here you go. Monday. We asked for things associated with Florida. Bruce in the Northeast called him snowbirds, retirees. Tuesday, iconic hair. Robert in Bensalem said Dolly Parton's very, very big hair. Wednesday, acquired tastes. Bruce in the Northeast said Joe of Exton. Do you think he's acquired taste? Now I think about it. Thursday, spokespeople, Marlboro Man, Tom and Marlton, and you just heard it now, Drew and Upper Darby with someone who's earned their reputation, the Broad Street Bullies. Dom, throw it all into the hat. I'm going to pull it out here. Thursday, Tom Marlton, Marlboro Man, takes the cake. Congratulations, Tom. You get a copy of Letters to Trump, the great book by Donald Trump himself.
Welcome back, Tom, too. Glad to see that. So the big event this weekend is going to be Butler, PA. We have full coverage of that on Monday, among other things. And, again, great week here. The countdown continues. Follow me on Twitter at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210. I like Henry's over and under. He says under 4,000 Mets fans will be there tomorrow.
Keep them out.
I'm saying it might approach 8,000 or so. Will they be drowned out? Will any of them be allowed to sit in what are the really good seats? I hope not. I don't want to see them behind home plate. No, they won't do that. They're from New York anyhow. Dan, any weekend observation?
No, got to take the car in for an oil change tomorrow. That's always fun.
Oh, thank you very much for that. All right. I'm taking Rose
Hopefully you get
cars.
back in time for 4 for the game, though.
Yeah,
It's a 1 o'clock appointment. Hopefully they do it quickly. You got to think the mechanics are going to try to get out of there, too,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good thing. All right, Rich Cioli's next to take you home here. It's been a great week. Thanks for listening. Thanks to all the great calls. And let's see how many encounters these producers have to deal with here. That race is on. All that on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life.